Welcome to Blog Talk Radio in high fidelity.
Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news in the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter podcast, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorda, and I'm here with my co-host, Ringside Robert, England's adopted son, Joe Beeb, and we have a great show for you today. And as always, you can catch us on the web at ringsidereporter.com. If you want to call and ask questions or just give your 2 cents, you can call in right now at 323-870-3857. Hit option 1 if you want to talk to us, and we'll be here until about maybe 8:39 tonight. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Today, we're going to talk about Robert. The big fight is set for September 16th between Canelo Alvarez and Triple G. Are you excited?
Absolutely. That is the new Christmas day on the boxing calendar.
That's it. Let's go, champ. Shannon Briggs versus Freza Kendo is now official for June 3rd. My God, it feels like 1998 again. But first, we start the show off right. We get started with Beeb.
Brianna, you going to do the train wreck or what?
Right now?
Yep. Get her in here.
Wow. Get her in here.
Get her in here because hurry up.
In here. We're doing the train wreck of the week to lead everything off.
Let's go. Come on. Ready? Do it.
Chugga, 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 chugga. Choo, choo.
There we go. All right. Brianna starting the show off right. I love it. I love it. Nice. All right. So in a world of great Mexican boxers, Robert, we got Salvador Sanchez, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, Juan Manuel Marquez, Ricardo Lopez, Ruben Olivares. I could go on and on. All brave Mexican warriors who would rather have died than to lose the fight. And we know that if they lost the fight, they left everything in the ring. Just brave warriors, the Mexican fighters. And then there's this guy, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. So in a sparring session that most of us paid $70 to watch, Canelo Alvarez completely demolished Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in a 12-round whitewash. I could not find one round to give Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And you know what? Neither could the judges. They couldn't find one either. And if you found a round to give Chavez Jr., I want to talk to you. I want to find out what round you gave him because I am curious. All right. The score is 120 to 108 on all three judges' scorecards. All of the judges saw it the same way. I don't know how anybody could have saw it any other way, honestly. No, the rounds were not even close. They were not competitive. They were not close. I'll tell you what, each round was like the previous one. Chavez offered up no resistance at all. Even when Chavez seemed to land a decent shot, he just stopped. He didn't want to press the action. He also wasn't throwing a lot of punches. Throughout the fight, his corner was pleading with him, throw more punches. His father was constantly yelling at him, throw more punches. He was just, content to just lay back and defend. In the first round, he landed a really good combination, a straight right hand followed by a body shot, left hook to the liver. I mean, good, solid combination. And I thought, wow, okay, he's going to take some and he's going to eat some punches, but he's got those body shot working. That was it. That was all. I mean, he didn't offer up anything else. That was his best punch of the fight. I think in the 11th or 12th round, he landed a straight right hand that was really good. Short of that, it was. One round was just like the other. I mean, it was him just getting, just bludgeoned on the ropes. I guess he tried to box with him. I don't know what his game plan was. I don't think he knew what his game plan was. After the fight, Chavez Jr., of course, took no responsibility for the loss and indicated that it was a bad game plan and seemed to place the blame squarely at the feet of Nacho Beristain, his trainer. So I think that was kind of where I went south with him. You know, I'm a huge Chavez Sr. fan, and I wanted Junior to win this fight. I mean, obviously I picked Canelo to win the fight, just better resume all around, better stuff. But I tell you what, man, he really disappointed in this fight. I mean, and it wasn't the fact that he lost. It was the way he lost, because he didn't look as though he wanted to win the fight. You know, and it wasn't even like he looked overly discouraged in there. He just looked like he just wasn't trying, and he didn't want to win the fight. And I'll be honest with you, I don't believe he was trying to win the fight. I think he was trying to survive, but I don't think he was trying to win the fight at all. The real drama show came after the fight during the Canelo interview. They went full WWE and announced that Canelo Alvarez will be facing Triple G on his next fight, September 16th. Triple G came out to the ring and the two squared off. I get the feeling these two don't like each other. There was just a little bit of it would look like animosity there, like they just do not like each other. There's something there. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. It's also important to note that no venue has been selected yet, but Vegas is probably the likely stage for this. Oscar De La Hoya, in an interview, said, well, this fight could land anywhere in the world. Oscar is a moron, and he knows it's going to be in Vegas. So, you know, there you go. Beeb.
I believe it should be Texas.
You know, he's going to have a home. I tell you what, Canelo is going to have a hometown advantage no matter where he fights, unless it's in New York. As long as it's in Texas or Texas or Las Vegas, he'll have the hometown advantage. The fight is going to take place in one of those two stadiums. What they could do is try to go the Anthony Joshua route, take it into Jerry World and try to break those records. But
that's what I'm talking about.
I know you are. That's why I'm saying it. But you know, I guess my thing is, you know, I would like to see that. But my guess is that they get a lot of money in Vegas for staging it in Vegas, kind of like Floyd Mayweather when he stages it at MGM Grand. There's just a ton of money for him there. That's kind of my guess. And September 16th, Mexican Independence Day, that's going to be a tough sell to come away from Vegas. So, B, before we talk about the Triple G and before we talk about the Triple G Canelo fight, B, what were your thoughts on Chavez Jr.'s masterful performance in there?
You know, last week I talked about this fight, and what I said we were going to have was another repeat of Chavez Jr. versus Sergio Martinez. And, you know, this fight resembled it almost to a T. Chavez, again, not really throwing a lot of punches. But, again, Chavez never really did throw a lot of punches. Unless, you know, you were a sitting target right in front of him and he was able to really overpower you, then he really didn't open up the clip and just, you know, throw punches. So this was a typical Chavez. I didn't think all of a sudden, you know, he was going to turn into something different overnight for this specific fight. And people was talking about the size advantage. They were hammering home size. But how many times, like, look, Sugar Ray Leonard, Donnie Leilon, Roy Jones, Johnny Ruiz, you know, Bernard Hopkins, Antonio Tarver, you know, so many fights that we've seen where, you know, guys gave up size. Floyd Mayweather's given up 20 pounds for a great deal of his career. Even against Canelo Alvarez, he was giving up 20 pounds. And you know, skills wins fights. And not only that, again, I mentioned the size disparity was not going to be that great. And if you really looked at these two guys, obviously Chavez was taller, but he did not look that much bigger size-wise. I mean, Canelo was thickly muscled. He looked in shape. And, you know, Chavez Jr. definitely took the path of least resistance. And it's easy for me. It's easy for you. It's easy for everyone out there to say, you know what? He didn't try. But, again, when you're in a situation, you know, with no matter what you do, it's not going to work, then obviously your best bet is to go into survival mode. So no matter what, he was going to lose this fight. He was outgunned, okay? He was giving up a huge speed advantage, a huge skill advantage. And as I said, I still think even Canelo being a little smaller, because I think, again, going back to the size disparity, I think on the night of the fight, it was probably maybe 7 to 8 pounds difference, come fight night, if that, okay? And even with all of that, I still think Canelo is even the harder hitter on top of that because he's a much sharper, crisper puncher as opposed to Chavez, who never really had one-punch knockout power to begin with. He was always a clubber. So, you could sit there and say, Chavez didn't put a 100% effort out there. But again, when you know that no matter what you do, you can't stop the onslaught of the other guy, then obviously, I've used this scenario or this example many times. It's like touching the hot stove. You touch it once, you get burnt. You're not going to want to touch it again. So, he even said after the fight, I was afraid to really go, aggressive on this guy because I didn't want to get countered. So I really think that, I can't blame Chavez. I blame Canelo a little bit more because I think Canelo looked like he wanted to punish him. Looked like, he would hit him with shots and then he would back up a little bit. Didn't look like Canelo really wanted to get him out of there. And even his corner said to him, don't go for the knockout. Just keep doing what you're doing. Box him, box him, box him. So I think the onus is always on the fighter who is the more skilled to take care of business, more so than the fighter who's least skilled. So, obviously people are going to say Chavez didn't do this, Chavez didn't do that. I don't think he could have done anything. I don't think he could have done anything, and it would have been nice to have seen Canelo close the show. But again, perfect shutout, 120 to 108. That's not to sneeze at either. But it is what it is. I'm not surprised. I was hoping I was going to be wrong, but I wasn't. But once again, they got my money. Doesn't matter. Beeb pays for everything. You could have a freaking 2 pigeons in the street fighting over a piece of bread. The Beeb buys it. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. So I can't complain. There's a sucker born every minute, and Beeb has been a sucker for years when it comes to these pay-per-views.
So let me ask you this, because you brought up a good point. You brought up the fact that Chavez didn't want to take any more punishment. He, so to speak, put his hand on the stove and got burned, and he didn't want to do it again. That being said, the fighters that I named earlier, Eric Morales, Ruben Alvarez, Julio Sr., can you imagine any of those fighters with the same attitude?
I'll tell you why I can't. And even Eric Morales kind of had that attitude in the third Manny Pacquiao fight because he was older. And the mentality changes when you get older because, you sit there and say, I maybe the desire is just not the same and I can't do what I once did when I was younger.
Yeah.
But going back to what you said, because you made an excellent point, and I'm going to kind of, add on to that point and expand my thoughts on the point you made. Those fighters always believed that they could win and that they could turn the fight around. It's not more. Of course, the pride thing comes into play here, without question. And the pride thing was what enabled Chavez to not quit. I mean, he did finish the fight. A lot of fighters sometimes, even in that situation, would have said, you know what, I can't win. I'm getting pounded on. Why even continue? And I'm not giving him a pass, or I'm not giving him any accolades that he should be getting. That I'm not giving him anything that anything extra that I think he doesn't deserve. But what I'm saying is, when the skill is so different and the mentality is so different, these guys are winners. They're world-class fighters, the ones you mentioned. And with all due respect to Chavez Jr., this is just a different breed. This is just a different breed, and you can't expect the same from him as you would these guys. And I didn't. So that's just the way it is.
It was always tough for me, I tell you, watching this, and I'm thinking to myself, your father's out in the audience. He was, the greatest boxer Mexico's ever seen by a long shot. You're talking about an 89-0, everybody talks about that record. But you have your whole country behind you, watching. We're going to find out who the best is, and just all this extra pressure. And like you said, I mean, and when they talked about it, they talked about, Canelo coming from nothing and Chavez coming from, where he came from. He came from money. His dad was a world champion, so they grew up with money. They grew up with a lot of a silver spoon, so to speak. He didn't have to want for anything. And so with Canelo, he had to work for everything. Chavez Sr. the same way. And yeah, I mean, you just thought that, I just thought that he would put up some effort. I mean, this was like zero. I mean, it was really, really bad. Robert, you saw the fight. This was your first pay-per-view fight in HD. What did you think?
Well, first of all, how about another name on that list? Marco Antonio Barrera.
Yeah,
he's another one.
Yeah, absolutely.
He died. All these guys, Salvador Sanchez, Wilfred Benitez, they'd all die in the damn ring. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. wanted to be anywhere else but. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's disowned from the Chavez family after this performance. It was utterly disgusting. And poor Julio, I don't blame him for not wanting to claim him as his son. I mean, that was a pathetic performance. And I hope to God we never see him again. Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ. People pay good money because they expected to see a Mexican bloodbath, a Mexican war. And they only got a one-sided. One guy actually wanted to fight. And I'm going to jump all over Canelo, too. He could have did the fans a whole lot of favors and knocked this son of a bitch out clearly. But I don't know why he didn't go for it. I mean, I guess he wanted to play it safe, but I would have got this piece of garbage out of there as soon as possible. Now, I'm never going to regret paying for a pay-per-view because I buy everything. Hell, if they would have put that April card on the right day, I would have bought it too. But they put it on the wrong day, so I didn't buy it. But and I'm going to buy June 17th, and I'm going to buy September 16th. I buy everything. But this is I can see why everybody would be calling in today, being extremely upset. I was entertained by the undercard fights more than I was entertained by Chavez Jr. He frankly does not belong in the sport of boxing anymore, and I hope to God we never see him.
I'll tell you what, I can't say that I disagree. I can't, man. I tell you, I cannot say that I disagree.
We don't fuck around in Mexico.
Apparently,
we got
do.
fucked over last night.
So, Robert, let me go to you with this, man. What were your thoughts after the fight when they interview Canelo and he says, "Hey, we're going to fight Triple G next." Triple G then comes out to the ring. What were your thoughts? What kind of went through your head at that point? What were you thinking?
Well, me and Joe, we've been debating this back and forth for quite some time. I'm happy to say that we were both wrong.
Who was right? Who was right? I know you guys were debating it, but I don't know who.
Yeah, Eric.
Who?
This guy named Eric Lauda.
That guy's awesome.
We honestly thought that Oscar would pull the old bait and switch and go after Billy Joe Saunders or fight David Lemieux or anybody but Triple G. But congratulations to Tom Loeffler and Oscar De La Hoya for putting this together. And, I can't wait because the Hispanic population who paid for last night's fight will get a true Mexican war in September on Mexican Independence Day. I promise you that.
You know what's funny? Is that you said that the WBO, I guess, we all thought that he may go after Saunders or whatever. I just read like a couple of days prior to that fight that if Canelo wins, he'll be the #1 contender for the Saunders belt for the WBO title. And Saunders has got to defend it, but Canelo will be the #1 contender for it. And I thought, are you serious? This is actually going to go down. He's going to go after this guy. But luckily he made the right call. So, Robert, let me ask you real quick, just prediction on that fight real quick.
Look, I like both guys. But I think Canelo Alvarez is tailor-made for one Gennady Golovkin. I think Golovkin is going to keep all of his belts, and Canelo will have his second loss in his career. And I think Canelo's style is tailor-made for Gennady Golovkin. I think he'll have an easier time with Canelo than he did with Daniel Jacobs. And because Beeb has also said that Canelo is tailor-made for Triple G. And I firmly believe that. And I think that September 16th will be a very good day. However, I do think we're going to get a much better fight than we got last night, and pay whatever the price is, because you won't be disappointed. I promise you that.
So, Beeb, what were your thoughts, like I said, when the fight was announced? I mean, were you pretty excited about it, or did you want to see him fight Saunders?
No, I was excited about it, and it reminded me right out of a WWE promo. Obviously, I was waiting for "I am a real American." I was waiting for the the chant. I was ready for Triple G to rip his shirt off. I was just ready for it all, baby. But I'm gonna say something right now. Someone texted me something this morning, and Beeb Industries has already liquidated all its funds, and we're ready to go all in on this one. Do you know Triple G is only going to be a minus 160? When are you ever going to get Triple G at a minus 160 unless he's fighting Godzilla or King Kong? You're never going to get that. And again, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to reiterate what Robbie said, because we've talked about this several times. I think Canelo is tailor-made for Triple G, and that's taking nothing away from Canelo. But the big difference here is, there's nothing Canelo does that is anything close to resembling what Danny Jacobs did that night. And I just think that definitely doesn't have the size of Danny Jacobs, definitely doesn't have the foot speed of Danny Jacobs, and I don't even think he has the power of Danny Jacobs. So I don't think there's anything that Canelo can do. And I think Canelo is a mid-range guy, and I don't think he's really quick on his feet. And I think it takes some time. I think he's got really quick hands, but I think it takes some time to get his feet set and, to take advantage of the quick hands. So I think he's a mid-range guy, or as I said, Canelo's more versatile. He can fight a little bit on the outside, a little bit in the mid-range. But I think the big difference here, as I've always said this, is Canelo fights very, very well on the inside. And people criticize Triple G, Golovkin fights very, very well on the inside. And, that's where I think this fight is going to be won, on the inside. I don't think that, Canelo is going to have anything to, any type of power to keep Golovkin off him. I just don't think it's going to happen. It's number one. And number two, going back to the head movement point, I think, when Triple G does get inside, I think, when he jockeys for position, I think he really, dips his head down low. I think he, gives guys that little shoulder bump, knocks them off balance, tries to make them feel uncomfortable. He's jockeying for position in there, trying to get his shots off. And I think he can generate a lot more power, throwing shorter punches, whereas Canelo needs a little bit of space to throw those mid-range type 45 type punches and that mid-range hook that he throws. Whereas Golovkin, when he gets inside, can generate a lot of power. He can knock guys down and out with body shots. So, I think he's harder to deal with on the inside. So your best bet is keep him on the outside. But again, all
right, Beeb seems to be having some technical difficulties. We lost his audio here. Oh.
No, I think I froze up there for a second.
Oh, okay, there we go.
So I don't think he's tall enough or long enough to be able to keep Golovkin on the outside. And I think once Golovkin gets on the inside and they go punch for punch, I think that he's going to get the better of the exchanges. And Golovkin was in there with big punchers. Curtis Stevens, David Lemieux, Danny Jacobs. And he could take all those guys' shots, and those guys hit him flush. And, I don't think you're going to see any one-punch knockout here from Canelo like he did. He's not going to land one of those punches and get the same result that he got against Amir Khan against Golovkin. And again, Canelo fights in spurts, okay? Golovkin, throws a lot of punches. He's not afraid to really go at a guy. And, people have talked about, when you throw a lot of punches at Golovkin and you force him to move back, he kind of gets into defensive mode only, and he's not really in counterpunch mode. And then it takes him a little bit of time to transition back into the offense. So he doesn't, transition from defense to offense real smoothly. And when you back him up, but you got to have you have to be quick on your feet, and you got to really put a lot of shots together. Canelo will throw combinations when he's in there with a stationary target, and he's got a significant hand speed advantage. But when you look at him against guys like Lara, and you look at him even against Amir Khan, and you look at him against Austin Trout, and even against Miguel Cotto, he was landing, single shots in those fights. It wasn't like he was, teeing off like he did last night or teeing off like he did against Kirkland. So, even against Cotto, Cotto took his best shots and finished the fight. And his only fight at middleweight was against a junior middleweight who was past his prime, and that's Miguel Cotto. And even in that fight, I thought he won, but I only had him win in that fight like 115 and 113. I thought that was a very competitive fight. I thought the scorecards were a little bit off. So with that being said, I know we have the halo effect of, Canelo knocking out Amir Khan. We have the halo effect of him looking like a monster against a stationary Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. But this gentleman, Golovkin, is a whole different animal. And again, Canelo was no Danny Jacobs. So I think Golovkin stops him.
Yeah.
I think he stops him. I'm sorry. I just think he stops him.
I think that Danny Jacobs will beat Canelo. I do.
I think he beat Canelo. Yeah.
Yeah, no question about it. And if you look,
I think David Lemieux might beat Canelo. I'm not saying saying that with absolute certainty, but it's not out of the realm of possibility.
That's a good fight. I mean, you look at Triple G's last 4 opponents. You look at Canelo's last 4 opponents. I mean, you got Cotto, Amir Khan, and then Chavez Jr. And there was somebody else in there, that Liam Smith. And then for Golovkin, you have who is it? Dominic Wade, David Lemieux, Kell Brook, and then Danny Jacobs. All of those guys are good fighters. I mean, all of those guys would give Canelo problems. None of those guys are going to give Triple G.
Something else. I don't mean to cut you off there.
No, not at all.
Another thing too is, I think Canelo may have a hand speed advantage, but I think Golovkin may have a foot speed advantage. And not only that, Golovkin is so good at cutting off the ring because he anticipates and picks up on his opponent's movements, and he beats guys to the spot. We still haven't, we see Canelo look lost against Floyd Mayweather, and we seen him look, struggle really bad against Lara. I think Lara won that fight 116 to 112. I watched it 10 times. I think Lara clearly won that fight. So he's never been in there with the guy who's forced him to have to cut off the ring. And that problem I don't think has ever been corrected. I don't think it's ever been corrected. But, Golovkin has been in there with guys who are quick. Kell Brook really quick on his feet. And he always finds a way to cut off the ring. He just, I think, Canelo may be a better counterpuncher. He may be a little bit better defensively, but I think the story here is Triple G's offense and how versatile he is offensively. And I think he's a really, really exceptional inside fighter. And I think that's where this fight is going to be won. Because you take the mid-range guy out of his element, put him in a position where his offense and his punches are going to be smothered, and you're able to squeeze off your punches in just a short space, and the other guy needs more space to get his punches off. And, this guy has never been hit by a middleweight punch. He's never been in there with a big puncher, Canelo. Name one guy. And the big punches he's been in there with, Kirkland and even Angulo's decent puncher, those guys were slow. So he's going to be in there with a guy who can really, put shots together and really throw short shots. That's why his punches are so effective, because they don't travel long distances and they carry a lot of power. He's able to generate a lot of power throwing punches from, real short and crisp, and they don't have to travel far to get there. So that's the thing. It's all about the technique and how how he delivers his offense. And it doesn't matter. Same thing with Marquez. Marquez was giving up a lot of speed with Pacquiao, but he just knew how to thread the needle against Pacquiao. He knew how to, find and create and just loop those shots through the openings. And that's what Golovkin's able to do. He's really able to do that.
You said that Canelo hasn't been in there with any big punchers. I suppose you've never heard of Floyd Mayweather or Amir Khan. These guys are.
I don't think those guys. I don't think those guys.
Murderous punchers, Beeb.
I don't think so.
Floyd only had 26 knockouts in 49 fights.
How many knockouts you had in 49 fights? 26, and that's a lot of guys, man.
Listen, I have 39 knockouts at on Super Punch on Nintendo. I don't want to hear about it.
You got the rocks in your hands there, boy. 39 knockouts, man. There you go. All right, 970. You're live. 970.
Hello, hand wrap.
Oh shit! I get to go first this week.
Look at that.
Yep,
You're moving up in the world.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, man. I feel like I'm getting that WWE entrance everybody keeps talking about now. Yeah, with my intro.
That's right.
With you guys, man.
Yeah.
We can play Slammer
Hey,
for you.
listen,
We can play
man, she was
Slammer for
awesome.
you.
I'm a fan of boxing in general. So, even though it was a dominant win for Canelo, I enjoy a dominant win, just like when I enjoy watching Triple G dominate his opponents as well. So, it wasn't the fight we expected, so I could see why Robbie feels like he got robbed. He should get his refund.
No, I'm not. I'm never going to ask for a refund.
No, you said you felt like, it wasn't worth your money, but I think you were a little too far when you said Chavez Sr. should disown his son and shit. Damn.
Well, hey, it was a pathetic performance, man.
That's horrible.
Hey, it was not a Chavez last name worthy performance. I agree.
Robbie's demanded paternity tests. Robbie's demanded paternity tests right now. He doesn't even believe Chavez Jr. is Chavez Sr.'s real son.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Robbie's harsh, man. But hey, listen, I'm about to be a little harsh myself on Triple G, man. You guys see this fucking scared ass face? Hey, Eric, last week when I told you to look at Canelo's eyes because he was gonna fucking destroy this kid and he was coming to win.
Yeah.
And he was going for the knockout. You guys are saying he should have knocked him out. He was fucking trying, man. He laid on the ropes like, come on, man, let's fucking go. Let's bang. He wanted to land a solid counter. He didn't get the opportunity because, fucking, what's his name was on the back foot. But hey, listen, you guys, I don't think that was an easy knockout and he was going for it. But listen, the real reason for my call, get right to it. Triple G was called into the motherfucking ring with that whole intro and all that, right? You guys see Canelo fucking staring him down? Anybody see Canelo's chest fucking fluffing out there? Because he was fucking staring him down from the second he stepped in the ring. Triple G would not make eye contact with Canelo until the very first question that went to the direction of Canelo. Then he made eye contact for about 5 seconds because Canelo was staring him down. He can feel the burn, buddy. And he looked away. And the smirk on Canelo's face, the cockiness says it all, buddy. I think Triple G is tailor-made for Canelo. And let me tell you why. I disagree with you guys completely. Triple G does not like being punched in between his work. Canelo is definitely going to punch in between his work because that's what he does. Triple G cannot fight on the back foot. Canelo can fight on the back foot. And he can take the lead. He has demonstrated both sides of the coin, buddy. He can let you come to him because he loves that. That's Triple G. He's coming. He loves that. He wants that. But if you are not going to do that, you want to box, he's going to come to you too. He's not just going to Daniel Jacobs it on the back foot the whole fucking time, waiting for you to get your shit going. And no, homie, it ain't going down like that. Golovkin loves bullying people. He loves bringing it to them, right? And when they don't show heart, they ain't coming to it. He takes them out of there. And Canelo does not have that killer instinct. And I definitely can see why Triple G is the favorite because his offense is better. But we have not seen Triple G's defense. We've seen Canelo's defense, and he's coming with it. Believe me, buddy. Triple G fights nothing like Lara. Triple G fights nothing like Mayweather. Triple G fights nothing like the people who have shown they can beat Canelo. Triple G fights everything like the people Canelo has shown he can beat. And that's why Canelo
he punches much harder than all those guys you just mentioned. That's the big difference.
Knockout.
He punches much harder than all those guys you just mentioned, number one. He's bigger and stronger than all those guys you just mentioned, number two. And if Canelo can be walked down, Floyd Mayweather at 36 years old, walked 20 pounds lighter, walked him down.
Yeah.
Imagine that. He was walked down in that fight.
He landed one He landed one uppercut. That's all he landed. He landed like 3 overhand rights. He didn't land shit, bro. Don't give me that shit.
He was walked down.
He had a better.
Oh by a guy on social security.
Canelo, without a doubt, no doubt, he was a better boxer. Triple G is not that much better of a boxer, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm telling you, Triple G is very underrated offensive. He is very underrated offensive.
Man, you guys are so fucking.
Here, I'll tell you what. I'll give.
The reason why those odds. You got Vegas knows what they're talking about, bro.
You
see the odds. You know what the fuck is going on.
I give Canelo a pass on the Floyd fight. What was he, 22 when he fought Floyd? I don't care how many fights you had.
21, I think.
He was like 21 or 22.
No, he was 23. He's 23.
He was something. He was in his early 20s.
He
23, 24.
He stood his own with the greatest boxer we've seen in the fucking last forever. He stood his own. He didn't get dropped. He didn't get schooled. Yeah, he got schooled in the sense that Mayweather was much better technical boxer than him. It was obvious, but he was young, man. You guys fucked up, man. You guys gotta give him his respect, especially after that dominant win versus this man. I know he was stuck down. I knew he was drained. We all knew that shit. But listen, that was a big boy in there, man.
He was big.
Canelo's been bulking up. Triple G's taller. He's got the height, baby, but he's bulking up.
I'm gonna tell you something, Hand
He
Raps.
looked good.
Be there, believe it.
He looked good last.
I'm gonna tell you something, Hand Raps. Danny Jacobs was a 10-1 underdog, right? And Vegas gets it wrong sometimes. I'm gonna tell you. You know why Vegas gets it wrong? Because there's a lot of people like you, Hand Raps, that are really high on Canelo. So obviously, that's the way of the people. Vegas goes the way of the people, and a lot of people believe in Canelo. And again, I'm not here to rain on their parade. I'm here to bring the truth. I'm here to pull back the curtain. I'm here to pull back the curtain and let the realness come through.
A lot of people were going for Chavez. He didn't get no odds his way. I don't know what you're talking about. Vegas does pretty good job with the odds, player.
No, they go.
Like, if they would have gave Chavez a better chance.
We control the odds.
Did you hear what the odds were? Yeah, but you know what? Did you hear what the odds were? The odds were bet all the way down to 2 to 3 to 1 from 7 to 1 after the weigh-in.
Really?
Odds all the way down to 2 to 3 to 1.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. It's not like
hey, guys, one at a time here.
Vegas
out of here.
Vegas just goes with how the general consensus out there is. And people look at Golovkin, and he looks vulnerable right now because of what Danny Jacobs did. Okay, and again, it's the halo effect of Canelo, just knocking out Khan and not knocking out, but whitewashing Chavez Jr. And this style, it's all about styles. And a guy like Canelo's style, who fights in spurts, who's a mid-range guy, a guy who's not going to really come forward, and a guy who doesn't fight. He's not an inside fighter. He's not a guy that uses a lot of physical strength. So when Golovkin gets inside, he's not going to grab him. He's not going to hold him. Okay, he's not going to keep him on the outside because again, he's just not tall long enough to do that. I just think Golovkin's going to get inside and he's going to just outwork him and he's going to break him down.
I don't know, man. Them counters are nice, man.
He's a good fighter, man. They're both.
When you bring it to him.
Yeah, they're both really good fighters, man. I think, like I said, man, I think that my early pick. If you put a gun to my head, I'm saying Triple G. But based on his fluid boxing, man, that guy can just box, man. I'm just thinking about Canelo. He is really, really good. He puts punches together.
Listen, man, you're right, Eric. There's a major factor in here, though, before I go, guys, and that's the heart. The heart's a major factor, and you go back, watch Triple G. You won't look at him in his eyes. He knows he don't piss him off. This is why Triple G didn't want to talk shit about Canelo, because he knows he's a good guy, he's a good boxer, and it's going to be a very tough fight for him. He knows this. So he didn't want to go there with Canelo. When Canelo started dropping belts, and then even Canelo started talking a little shit, he wanted to fight. He started talking shit, but he never took it there with Canelo because he knows. And Canelo's pissed right now. It'll show it all over his face. Triple G give him a glance. He don't want that fire, bro. Because if he was gonna get in the ring and do all this little drama bullshit he's been looking for, then fucking get in his face and call him out, man. Why you?
He never does that though.
Don't fight me. Canelo was waiting for that shit. He didn't even want to look at him, bro. He didn't want to look at him. Go back and watch that shit. He didn't want to look at him. Case closed. Hart's gonna win this fucking fight.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah. This is great. We're gonna get even money. We're gonna get even money. These people pumped. People are pumped about stare downs.
Oh,
Babe Industries is going to go through the roof. Babe Industries through the roof. People are looking at the stare down, and they're using the stare down to break down this fight. I love it.
Triple G scared. He done pissed off Canelo, man. He's fucking scared. Look at him. He's scared, man.
Yeah.
I want to see this face off, man. I'm looking
getting
forward
even money.
to Max Kellerman face off.
Eric, we're getting even money come fight time because of the stare down. We're getting it. We're getting even money because of the stare down.
Viva Mexico! The Heart's gonna win, player. I'm telling you, man. You can't replace Hart, man. Triple G ain't seen nothing like this boy.
Very good,
nothing
man.
like this boy. Hey,
Very
guys,
good.
I love you guys, man. You guys' show is the best. I thank you guys for letting me go off like I usually do.
I love you, hand wraps. I love you, hand wraps. We need
you, my man.
We need opposing opinions here. This is what makes the show interesting. Thank you.
All right, hand wraps.
I love you and respect your opinion.
Oh, I cut him off. I'm sorry. Hand wraps brought it this weekend, and I cut him off. How about that? Sorry about that, buddy. Definitely didn't mean to do that. So what a call, man.
That was some passion there, man.
That was, man. I mean, he's a Canelo
passion,
guy. He's a Canelo guy. And I don't even know if he's so much of a Canelo guy, but he believes Canelo's going to win that fight for sure. For sure. And he had good reasons. You know?
Yep.
He had really good reasons. So 812, you're live.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Joe.
Hey,
man.
Joe,
what's up, man?
Joe, how you doing,
Not
buddy?
much. That was a real fun call, man. I like the energy.
Yeah.
Eric, I talked to Robbie last night. I think with me, it was so much emotion in such a little time. Like, it was so much to take in. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm very excited the fight's getting made. But I felt like, honestly, that I ordered that pay-per-view to see a face-off between Golovkin and Canelo. Like,
yeah.
I'm just still shocked that, you know, you can pull up all the great Mexican fights, Robbie, Beeb, and Eric, and out of all the fights, I'm talking about the two Mexicans going at it, there's probably about a 95% chance that, yeah, somebody may lose and get knocked out, but at least the fight's going to be fun. Like, and I think that was my expectation coming in. I knew Canelo was going to win, but I thought at least there would be some effort from Chavez to go for some haymakers and just give the fight give the fans something to stand up to. And man, I was totally wrong. So, you know, off that disappointment, you know, trying to dwell on that was the quickest transition I've ever seen to another fight being promoted, which like I said, again, I'm happy it's getting promoted, but I felt that it just happened so fast. You know, you hear Oscar, I stood up and watched the press conference. He said basically the same thing that he said for this fight. This is what you're going to get when you get two warriors like this in the ring, and they're going to get nonstop action and this and that. And I don't know, man. It was just, I really felt like that pay-per-view, I paid the $70 to watch the face-off, you know, but I'm excited the fight's made. But guys, I father time, man. I'm going for Golovkin, but man, Canelo's in the zone right now. That dude, he's just getting better every fight. And I know Chavez just got outboxed, but Canelo looks strong, looks fast. I've never seen the guy hurt before. Have you guys ever seen him? I mean, he got, you know, Floyd ran laps around him, but I don't think Floyd ever hurt him. But
Jose Cotto,
man. But
Jose Cotto hurt him early in his career.
I'm sorry, B. What was?
Remember that fight against Jose Cotto? Miguel Cotto's.
Yeah.
That was the only time I've ever seen him really hurt.
Yeah, I mean, probably, man. I mean, I'm just looking at probably. Okay, let me restate that again. Like the last 3-4 years, maybe, since he's been on, you know, the pay-per-view, I've never seen him phase. But he's just impressive. But man, just going back to the, you guys remember a Mexican fight though that really didn't produce action? Like, I think that's what me and a lot of my friends are like shocked about. Like, coming in, everybody was like, "This is gonna be a war, man." And I can't recall a Mexican fight where there was just no action in it. And I think that's where, you know, a lot of fans are upset. But
everybody just felt cheated. Everybody felt cheated off that whole thing. Because you know what? Here's the deal. They knew that the fight was going down like this. Because look, man, I mean, just like in the WWE, all right, when somebody's talking on the microphone, all of a sudden somebody else's music hits, and then somebody's got to come down the ramp, and then they jaw at each other and everything. It's all set up. You know what I mean? The camera guys know what's going on. The production crew knows what's going on. and the guys in the ring are in on it too.
Oh yeah.
And they all knew it was going to be a garbage fight. They knew this guy was going to get destroyed in there, and it was just you just felt cheated, man. Really did.
But if you remember when Canelo fought Angulo, it was one-sided like this too. And those were two Mexicans too. So.
I think, but I think Angulo showed a little bit more though. Like he could.
Yeah.
I mean, he can. I think he ended up getting stopped or whatever. But at least he went out with his head high. Like you can say at the end of that fight though, everybody was like, "Man, that guy's got heart." And he was eating. He didn't want to quit. That's how I thought. I thought how this fight was going to be. I was like, the ref's going to have to stop it. Chavez is not going to quit. But man, he just didn't even. I mean, Canelo he didn't even look fake. He didn't have one mark on his face. How is that possible when you got that reach advantage?
He didn't. Did you see? That's the other thing. He didn't have a reach advantage. They were both 23. They were both 23-inch reach from the arm.
Can I explain to you why that is such a
nothing?
You know why that's like an irrelevant stat, and I'm gonna tell you why. Reach is very important because when you look at shoulder width, because a fighter doesn't stand squared up. He's not gonna throw punches like this. You usually have your shoulders to the side. So if you have a wide shoulder base, then obviously your shoulder and your jab, your lead hand is going to be out there farther because you have a wider shoulders. So the arm length, I think, means nothing. I think reach should still be counted because, again, fighters stand from the side. And again, if a fighter has long shoulders, wide shoulders, and his lead hand's going to be out there farther, and he's going to be able to take advantage because his jab is going to be shooting out there from a shorter distance. It's going to get there farther. It's going to get there faster. So he's going to be able to reach you because it's out there farther. It's starting from a farther away starting point. So that I think reach still is a very relevant statistic because of that. In my opinion, that's why HBO is the network that says arm length. Everyone else goes by reach, and there's a reason why. Because reach is measured from fingertip to fingertip.
Yeah, I agree with that, B. That's so true. I just like I said, man, it was just so much to take in. Like I think after the disappointment of the fight. And then excitement came in with the ring walk. I mean, that was cool, man. But I think I was still taking in like, damn, I can't believe this fight turned out to be like this. And then everything just happened so quick.
Well, Joe, I can guarantee you, June 17th and September 16th, you will not be disappointed.
I don't know. I've heard that
guys,
before.
Hey, Eric, let me ask you a question. I don't want to sound like a bitter Barry here, man. But, man, could you imagine if this was like a Floyd Mayweather fight? I think the fight's got a lot of backlash. So I think if it was like Floyd, it probably would have got a lot more, man. I mean, this reminds you kind of similar to that. I made a comment of that it felt like Postal Crawford. And I said it felt like Manny and Floyd all over again. That's the first reaction. That's the first feeling or thought that came to my head was like, damn, I felt just like that Crawford Postal fight and then that Manny and I don't know, guys. I think I just had higher expectations. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse here, but we do get the big fight, and then we got some great fights coming up, man. I mean, especially Brooke and Spence. So I don't want to sound all negative here, but damn, man, I would love to see a little bit more excitement, but you really can't blame Canelo, man. He tried and he came forward. It's just the other dude just didn't want to even fight.
One guy doesn't want to fight. What are you going to do? I think, like I said, you dropped $70 on this. You talked about it being Floyd's fight. We kind of expect that from Floyd. It's not like we expect Floyd to get in a slugfest.
Yeah.
But you got two Mexican fighters here talking about fighting from Mexico. The guy's dad, Chavez Sr., is the greatest boxer in Mexican history. You got his son in there. You got the father in the audience watching the son. Could you imagine? That? I mean, think about that for a minute. I mean, not even trying. I mean, your dad's the greatest boxer in Mexican history, and you're not even trying out there. I mean, you're just getting whitewashed. I mean, just seriously, it's just shameful.
Point, Eric. You bring up a great point. Like, I would say 80% of the fans in there would probably like straight up Mexican.
Oh,
Maybe a
for
lot
sure.
of people came from Mexico to watch this or whatever. And it's like, I wonder how they feel. They probably feel like, damn, what was this? Because Mexican fans support their boxers the best. We all know that. They come out and they show out, man. I'm over here crying about being cheated out. I can't imagine what they feel.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, because they shelled out hundreds for those seats, man. Hotel room.
Oh God, yeah.
Chakal from Tijuana, the caller Chakal from Tijuana, who calls in here. I was texting him back and forth last night. He was at the fight, and he was furious with Chavez Jr. And he said everybody, all the booing that you heard was toward Chavez Jr. And just because he was putting up no effort at all, none.
But him and I were talking on Facebook. I'm just saying, him and I were talking on Facebook, and we both said that Chavez was going to get killed. So that's, it's kind of funny to me because it's hard to imagine that people couldn't see this coming. At least, like, this had to have been in the back of everyone's mind. I said it last week. I said, this is going to be just like the Martinez fight. I mean, he threw no punches in that fight. And in this fight, he threw no punches again.
He was trying to win the Martinez fight.
I don't think
clearly
it didn't look like it.
Better skilled boxer, but he was throwing
Yeah.
nothing. And at the last round, I mean, he clipped him, and then he tried to get him out of there. And that kind of, everybody's looking at it like, all right, he tried. No,
I don't know, Eric. He didn't throw any punches in that fight. If you look at the punch stats in that fight compared to this fight, they're probably the same.
I didn't expect him to just roll over and, not try. At least try for the first half, and maybe he gets clipped or something like that. And then, maybe he goes out on the shield, or maybe he gets, he takes a little bit of a beating. But he didn't even try. And Joel Lopez in the chat is saying the same thing. He didn't even try. That is what we're disappointed with. The fact that he lost. I mean, sure, you could take a loss, so what? But you didn't even try. That's the worst part.
I don't think he tried in the Martinez fight until the last round, in my opinion.
Go ahead, Joe.
And Eric, you bring up another good point. Yeah, you bring up another good point about the caller that went to the fight. He probably spends, on average, I would say a person with good seats, you probably spending $4 or $5 grand easy out there, and that's being cheap still in Vegas. But imagine all the people across Cinco de Mayo weekend. Imagine all the people that had fight parties. I know personally about 5 of my friends that have fight parties of maybe 15 or more people. So out of them 15 people that attend them parties, you probably got about 11 casuals and 4 hardcores.
Yeah.
So imagine the casuals, how they feel when they leave that fight. You think they're going to want to
just think how many movie theaters showed this,
Yeah. So it's a big drawback. I mean, I don't want to sound negative here, but we got to call bullshit when we call it. It's just like we used to call it out on Floyd. We got to keep it 100.
See, this is the problem this sport is always going to have. When a fighter's promoted as a big deal and you get the casual people interested and then you don't deliver, how are we ever going to make any kind of traction?
No, you don't.
Yeah, but Robbie, you said it best, man.
This is the Mexican version of May Pack.
You said it right there.
Yeah.
So now after it's going to force this Golovkin, now as us hardcores, we got to bring the casuals back in like, oh, man, you got to come in. You don't want to miss this Golovkin in a Canelo fight, but they're going to be like, but what about that last time you told us about Chavez and Canelo? Why should I believe you this
Two
time?
Mexicans
so we
in there, exactly.
We're going to watch it anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
I watched
man, that's enough for me being negative. I got to get back to being positive. But, guys, I've always enjoyed you guys' show, and I'll be listening in, man. I'm just going to get back over here doing some paperwork, man.
Awesome.
You guys are good, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man.
Okay, but
good call. Bill from Indiana.
I watched this fight for one reason and one reason only. I wanted to see whether Chavez Jr. was going to finish the fight on his feet or if he was going to get knocked out. That was the only reason why I watched the fight.
You're hardcore. You're so mean.
I'm just being
You're so
sorry.
mean.
You know what, Eric? Like I said earlier, I enjoyed.
Hey, at least I'm not asking for my money back like Robbie.
Robbie's over there asking for paternity tests and everything. Like
Robbie's on the line. Robbie's on the line with DirecTV right now as we speak. He's telling him right now, you better give me a credit of $70 for this thing. I'll go up there myself and rip the dish off the roof.
347, you're live.
Yeah, what's up, guys? This is Nick on the line.
Nick, how you
Hello,
doing,
Nick.
man?
How are you?
I'm good. The Chavez fight, that fight is whack as ass. Chavez, I don't think he's Chavez's son. I think he's a dope head. I think he's one of those cartel son that claim that his mother claimed that that's Chavez's son. They need to get DNA for him. He's not Chavez's son, man. He's just some dope guy, dope head, crackhead guy claiming that, you know, Chavez should get DNA for Julio. He shouldn't even have his father's last name.
Wow.
You guys are saying that
harsh, man. This is so harsh, man. I'm getting depressed.
DDG is gonna beat Chavez. I mean Henry Chavez, Canelo. I don't see that happening. I disagree with you guys saying that DDG is gonna beat him. I think Canelo is the face, and the way how Canelo is fighting. And Golovkin does one good thing. I see what he does is he can do a good step back to reset a fighter if a fighter come forward. He did that in the Jacob fight, and that was good. That every time Jacob would attack, he would just reset him by just stepping back. But the problem is he will have to come forward to Canelo, and when he come forward to Canelo hand is quicker than Triple G hand. Triple G is slow as fuck, and Canelo is much faster. The combination is there. He's a much, like, how you would say it, a much, his shots, how he plays his shots is far better, in my view, than Triple G. I don't see Triple G beating Canelo. I don't see that happening. And I believe, in my opinion, Canelo is on that juice. How come he made 164.5 and still looking ripped? The dude is like 5'8". How is he looking at ripped? Why is it he saying now that he doesn't want to fight for the WBC? Because he doesn't want to go under the VADA testing. He never want to go under VADA testing. Why is it he doesn't want to use VADA testing?
Come on, it's good quality beef they got in Mexico. It's good quality beef. It's good quality beef they got in Mexico. Don't hate on Canelo. Please.
When Marquez knocked Pacquiao out, I think it was
it's the beef. It's
one
the
of the
beef down there.
One of the fighters that Pacquiao beat said tweeted that the Mexican pharmacy is the best pharmacy, and I believe that. The Mexican pharmacy is better. They know how to mask whatever they're using. They can mask it and beat whatever little testing they're using. I believe Canelo is on juice, but obviously that's not something, you know, people really talk about, because the guy looked ripped at 164.5. How is he making 164.5 and looking ripped? Triple G is bigger than this dude in height, and when he at 160 still doesn't even look ripped as Canelo. How is that? How is that possible? And he's shorter. If you're shorter, you're gonna look more.
Yeah, but he's doing CrossFit.
On your more belly. How is that possible?
Because he's doing CrossFit.
I don't get it.
Guys, I mean, let's face facts here. He's only 160 pounds.
That don't work.
He's 160 pounds. That's not like it's a lot of weight. Of course he's going to be ripped. It's not like it's a lot of weight. 160.
Who's 160 pounds?
Canelo.
Yeah, but Golovkin was never a ripped guy. Kovalev's not a ripped guy. It's like neither is what's his name? Provodnikov's not a ripped guy. It's just some guys just aren't ripped. Eric?
Yeah, I mean, hey, if it was in a bottle, everybody would be drinking it. You know what I'm saying?
Like Eric, what do you expect?
Anyway,
you ain't lying.
I still believe that Canelo's gonna be Triple G. He is the cash cow, and they're not gonna take away that from him unless Triple G knock his ass out. I don't think he's gonna win. Triple G is gonna win. The guy who called in early and said that, oh, Triple G didn't want to look Canelo in his eye. Well, there's 90% or how much people there is all for the Mexicans. So
that's correct.
He hasn't known to go in and disrespect no fighters. He always say respect the fighters and whatever. That's not his character. He's not gonna come in there and disrespect no fighter. He's not gonna go in there and crash Canelo party. That's Canelo wins. He has to enjoy that. So he's not gonna go and do that. He's never known to go and do that. But Triple G is a fighter. His fists do the talking in the ring. So doesn't matter what the face off is gonna be or who's gonna talk. Canelo has everything on his side. He has the youth. He has the fan on his side. He has everything on his side going right for him. Switching topic. What do you guys think about the Gamboa loss?
We're going to talk about that. I tell you what, I think it's the end of the road for Gamboa, though.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I mean, this is a guy he was brought in, should have been custom made for him. Kind of a comeback type, I mean, this was not a fight he should have lost for sure.
No, not at all.
And the fact that he did lose, the fact that he lost the way he lost, I mean, because it wasn't a flash knockout, or was it a flash knockdown or, excuse me, anything like that. Yeah, this was, it's the end of the road for him. That's.
Do you think the fight was still on the table though before he gave up?
No.
You thought he was losing badly?
He was done. Yeah, it was over. He was knocked down twice.
Okay, I have a question for the three of you guys. I agree that's the end of the road for him. Wilder and Joshua, who wins?
Joshua.
Too
much skill, man.
Oh,
Joshua.
Too much skill, yeah. Too much skill.
Really? Wilder has the highest percentage of knockout rate in boxing.
Who was he fought?
Heavyweight history.
Who was he fought?
Why? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
At least the guy has power.
He has a 97% knockout ratio. Joshua has a 100% knockout ratio. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Joshua has a 100% knockout ratio.
Joshua has a 100% knockout ratio. He's knocked out a guy that hasn't been knocked out in 12 years.
100% knockout ratio.
He's got a 100% knockout ratio. Doesn't get any better than that. Unless it goes up to 110, then I don't know about it. I don't know. Jesus Christ. What's going on here? What's going on here? I thought I passed the
So you guys would think Joshua over Wilder?
Yeah.
Of course he will.
Too much skill.
I would bet my everything I own on that.
Yeah, I agree. He has more skill than Wilder, but Wilder has the power to take him out.
But so does Joshua. Joshua's knocked out every opponent.
Listen, I got nothing against Wilder.
Yeah, I don't either. I love Wilder, man.
I like Wilder. He's a great guy. I would hang out.
Friend of the show.
I have no animosity towards him at all.
Wilder? How come he doesn't talk nothing? He's scared of talking to saying Wilder in his mouth.
Oh, here we go with this scared thing again. Oh, you know what?
Nobody's scared, man. They're all pro fighters.
I love this because everyone's gonna put money on Wilder, and then the fight we're gonna get even money with Joshua now too. Because people think everyone's scared. Yeah, stare downs. This guy's more ripped. Yeah, we're gonna go. I love it. Keep with this logic. Beeb Industries is gonna go off the charts. We're gonna go crazy. We're gonna expand.
Yo, guys, I gotta go later.
All right, man.
All right, see you.
I love this logic.
Wait a minute. Are the three of us sober or are we all intoxicated? What kind of phone calls are we getting today? Man,
yeah, the best was he was like, he was like, well, his knockout percentage is 98% or whatever. He's 100%. So,
97. The other guy's 100. No disrespect. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean.
Right. 937. You're live. 937.
Hey, what's up, fellas? This is Wood.
Wood, what's up, man?
Wood.
Not much.
Let me ask you a question. Wood, let me ask you a question.
I'm not sure what we have, but they're interesting. I'll say that.
Wood, let me ask you a question. Are you ever going to bet on a guy because he's a better stare downer than the other guy?
No.
Hey, man, I'm just listening today, really. I mean, wow. I mean, those last three calls were kind of all over the place. But, yeah, I guess that's the type of things that we're gonna bet on and pick our favorites in these fights.
I tell you what, that's why the odds are going to be even with the Triple G and Canelo, and they
I know, because Golovkin's got a better mean mug than Triple G. That's why he's going to win.
Well, I think you got to, obviously, I think Triple G's been at the weight a long time. I think you got to make him the favorite. Whether he wins or not is immaterial. You know, what he wins the fight or you think he's going to win, but odds-wise, I think you have to put Triple G in that category. But
it's only a minus 160, Eric. Minus 160. Man, when are you ever going to get Triple G at minus 160?
What was the deal? No, never. Well, what was the deal with again, Canelo's ripped. How is he ripped at 160? He's 160 pounds. That's how he's ripped. You weigh 160
maybe because genetically,
you hit the bags. You tell me you work out every day, you're going to be ripped too.
Danny Jacobs was more ripped. Danny Jacobs was more ripped too.
Well, we're stealing from Wood's call here, and I'm sorry about that, Wood.
That's okay. I know.
I accused him of being on steroids.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Shouldn't we? I mean, I know I do a different spin on boxing on my thing, but here we are right now. We're looking at the Cavaliers just swept 2 playoff series in a row. And, they'll be waiting for a week to their next opponent in the finals. I mean, we had a bad fight this weekend. I mean, it's not the end of the world. And then at the end of it, I mean, we get the big fight name that everybody wanted to see. Boxing fans nothing's ever good enough. So, I mean, the caller said it was like 11 casuals and 4 hardcore at a party. I mean, let's not air our dirty laundry in front of the casuals. I mean, we just roll with the punches. Yeah, it was a little bit of a disappointment, but I mean, Junior has to deal with that moving forward. His dad's probably still yelling at him right now. I mean,
you better believe he is.
It's not the end of the world. I mean, and on top of that, if you just split $69.99 up over 15 guests, did you really lose out?
Yeah, that is a good point. Because you figure everybody chipped in or somebody bought pizza,
That's right.
It is.
So, I mean, it's great to have these big fights on the calendar. It's great to have, the premium nights and whatnot from week to week. And it's not always going to be a great game. I mean, if we look at the NFL with the Thursday night games, I mean, 90% of those games suck. But nobody says the next.
Yeah.
Nobody says the next week we're not watching the NFL anymore.
That being said, though, not everybody pays $70 to watch a football game, though.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
I mean, that does make a pretty big difference, I mean, and that's the thing. I think that's where I come at it at is like $70, man. It's like this guy better at least try, That's all I want. I mean, I don't care if you lose, just try,
But Eric, I got bad news. The next 2 are going to be more expensive because they're going to be they're going to be better quality fights.
I don't know. I don't know if they will be or not. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm not going to stay on too long tonight, guys. Hey, Eric. You know that several years ago when you went to that first fight in Cincinnati, the Broner fight, that Matisse was on the undercard.
Yeah.
When Broner fought Taylor, you think there's any way that if About Billions is trying to have another card in Cincinnati, that they try to bring back Matisse to face Broner?
No, I don't think so. No way. I think he's probably too dangerous for Broner. They brought in Granados. Because he wasn't going to be any threat to Broner, and then look how that turned out.
Yeah, and last night's was Lucas's first fight at 147, and he looked good, man. He looked good.
Yeah. Pretty good. He looked pretty good.
Yeah, he looked good, man. He did.
I just don't know who they're going to match Broner up with moving forward.
I
have no idea.
Maybe the prison guard. I don't know. I mean, I don't know who he's gonna. It's got to be. It's either going to be an opponent with a lot of money, like a Pacquiao or something like that, or even a Tim Bradley. I think would be a good fight, but I don't think that garners enough money. I don't know. It's either going to be somebody super easy or somebody that's going to give him a super big payday because he's going to have to stay active at some point. So yeah. But he's not going to take anybody dangerous. Nobody dangerous. Like Sean, he's not taking a Sean Porter or anybody like that. No way.
Probably going to fight Zab Judah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, everybody's getting their shots this week.
Wood, plug your podcast, man.
Yeah, check me out at the Pay Me No Mind show and also the Pay Me No Mind YouTube channel. I got a little bit of content on there, but of course I'm here buried in the Midwest, so it's not like I have access to interesting guests or interview subjects weekly. But yeah, check out the you can find me at Talk Loud Radio. I actually got a podcast up just from this week with Malcolm McAllister out of Long Beach, California is my guest. And also I got Ray Flores from Premier Boxing Champions breaking down about 4 or 5 fights. I think he weighs in on the Errol Spence Jr. and Kell Brook fight. So that's what's out there right now. And, just waiting for some of these things to unfold.
Yeah, so I like Wood's pod. Wood's always got good interviews, man. He's always got like good people on there and stuff like that. I mean, not like this one.
Show,
you rely on like me and Beeb and Robert to just, give you the news. Wood goes straight to the source, man.
Malcolm McAllister was a really interesting guy from, having a nickname like the Punisher and everything. But he talked about, his last fight, I think it was February 28th on a toe-to-toe Tuesday, where he got caught in the 6th round by a guy who wasn't a big puncher. And I just asked him, do you think being out on your feet or being hurt so badly by somebody like Alejandro Torres, does that have guys salivating to get in the ring with you if you, as you go up the ranks in your division? So he spoke on that and just talked about it was a pretty interesting interview.
Good deal, man. Good deal. Look at Wood just rubbing it in now. He gets all the good interviews. Now he's just rubbing it in. Look at you. Killing me here. Killing me.
Nah, man, not at all. Not at all. Hey, I don't have 2 or 3 dedicated guys that want to show up every week and chop it up. I don't have that luxury.
There you go, man. So if you're out there, man, go subscribe to Wood's podcast, man. It's a good one, man.
It's a good one. Real good one.
All right, Wood, we're going to get moving, man. Thank you for calling in, my man. All right, man.
Thank you.
You too, man.
It, buddy. You got it.
Yeah, I love Wood, man. He's a good guy.
Really good personality.
Yeah, very good, man.
Yep.
All right, let's go to 803. 803, you are live.
This is 4G Incognito,
baby.
Another trap phone, baby. Another trap phone.
This day, you'll be my new fool.
He's on the run, boy.
There's more trap phones than simple mode.
Yo, let me give a shout out to Robbie. Robbie!
What's up, Georgie? Did you move to South Carolina? What's the deal?
I'm on the run for the project, baby. Goddamn, all right, after, man.
I see you're calling from one of those Obama burner phones. I see. I got it.
I got to keep it on budget after I got robbed last night.
There you go. Yeah, how'd you feel about that robbery? It was pretty bad, wasn't it?
Did you have Chavez winning that fight?
Man, listen. God bless the Argentinian dude. What the fuck his name?
Matisse,
man. Bless his soul, bro. He saved the fucking show. Lemieux, he looked like shit. I don't know who training Lemieux. This man showed no improvement. He's like the same Lemieux for like 7 years ago. I just don't get it, bro. It's just like that dude don't progress. Like stock fell. Like I don't get it, bro. You don't see no improvement on Cat. So without Lemieux fight though, what you guys think?
I thought he looked good. I thought he looked real good, man. I was surprised.
Yeah,
I thought that Taylor
and,
would be a little bit more, would bring a little bit more, man, but Lemieux just shut him down. He looked good. Or not Lemieux, but Taylor, or not, Matisse shut him down. But Lemieux looked good too.
He should have took that dude out like in the 5th, 4th round. That dude, Doggy, he let that dude get the second air. If he let any punch it, and that dude wasn't even punching hard. He let his punching power his how or something, because that dude didn't crack the shit. Every shot that he throw was mad slow. You can see it from a mile away. I mean, that was the card that the De La Hoya put there for Lemieux to shine. And I don't know what happened, bro. Just Lemieux need a new trainer, bro. He just fell. He just don't look good to me, man. He's not gonna do. He cannot be even talking about no Triple G at this point, bro. It's just like ridiculous, man.
No.
But after today, it's gonna be the last time we're gonna talk about Chavez Jr.
Oh.
You guys should like hang up in anybody talking about Chavez Jr. after today. That will be the name that we don't spoke of. We're not gonna speak about this man no more. We gotta dishonor this man. I'm not even Mexican, but yo, this is fucking fucked up, bro. It's just too much, man. It's just too much. How could you disgrace your whole country, bro? There has never been in the history of boxing a fucking dog fight like that. Ever between two Mexicans. Never. This is history. This motherfucker make history. I just don't get it, bro. How could you like I don't know. It's just I got no words to describe this shit. But I just want to say to everybody out there to support, give you guys the thumbs up. And I see a lot of people calling, expressing their emotions and their frustrations. Because, I mean, we all got robbed. This is fucking bullshit, bro. I'm paying HD 70 beans for this. No wonder I'm on the Obama phone. These goddamn vampires. Yo, Biz.
What up?
Baby, talk to me, baby. Tell me something. I know we got robbed, baby. I know you're saying that you will fight you pay for the fight and you really don't complain, but there has to be a part of you that you gotta be fucking mad as hell too.
I feel bad for you guys out there who don't have the sickness that I have, that I'll buy anything. So I gotta give you guys have my full sympathy, but me, I deserve it. Because I've been buying everything. I bought Roy Jones versus Bobby Gunn. You know what I'm saying? I was getting ready to buy, what's that other thing there? Chris Brown versus, who was he fighting?
Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy. I was getting ready to buy that one. I'm sick. I'm sick.
Well, hell, if DirecTV would have offered Roy Jones and Bobby Gunn, I would have bought it too.
So we have a consensus in the panel that Triple G will smoke Canelo. Or how we going with we do?
Right now,
I'm going with Golovkin, man.
Right
I'm going with Golovkin.
I'll probably flip-flop a couple times, but yeah, right now I think Triple G, I got to go with him.
I'm going with Golovkin.
I think I'll get a hold of Beeb and see. I think I'll get a hold of Beeb and see if I can't make some money off of this. I think it's easy money, man.
This will be even
Triple G. We know Triple G got the biggest gun. Canelo will put nobody out with one punch unless your name is the meerkat.
That's what I'm saying.
Like him, Canelo he cannot knock out anybody with one punch.
No.
And Triple G just got to land one. That's it. How could you avoid that punch for 12 rounds? You know what I'm saying?
Golovkin
do it because he's a big dude. Jacob was a big dude, but Canelo fighting these 155 and never fighting nobody at 160. And I see a lot of people out there supporting Canelo and thinking that Canelo going to win. And I just don't get it. Don't understand what people seeing.
Golovkin's inside game is too tough. And you're in there with a guy, Canelo, who does not hold. He does not try to freeze the action. He's going to keep trying to slide back, and he's not going to have anything to keep Golovkin from coming in. He's not going to be able to hold him off. And he doesn't have the foot speed that Jacobs has. Doesn't have it.
I saw Canelo fight a bunch of people, but never got touched. Canelo really don't. His defense is kind of solid. I cannot, underestimate this man's defense.
Well, here's an important point, guys. I think in Canelo's 51 fights, I don't think we've ever seen him seriously hurt or even dropped. I don't know how he would react getting put on the canvas because we've never seen that. So he does. If he gets seriously hurt and put on the canvas, it'll be interesting to see if he gets up and is able to continue what his strategy is, because I don't think he's ever been put in that position.
Right on, Robbie, right on. These men have never been touched. That's the whole thing. He has never been touched. I think Triple G got touched by Jacob. Even fucking Brook, which is a smaller guy, touch him with a couple uppercuts here and there. I mean, the dude, I seen him get touched, and he can take a good punch.
What about Lemieux? He took Lemieux's shots, too. Lemieux's a murderous punch. He took Lemieux's shots.
Lemieux can hardly touch him, you know what I'm saying? He connected a couple shots, but nothing, big. Like Brook landed something really nice on him, but Lemieux never got the chance to really put that power on him. But I know Triple G can take a shot. Canelo, on the other hand, we don't know, because he never fought a puncher. Never fought somebody who can with that punch power who can really put in danger. So to come out and give Canelo the open hand saying that he probably gonna beat Triple G, that's ridiculous, bro. I mean, we gotta educate boxing fans about this, because they really thinking that Canelo gonna pull this out. Hey, I guess that's your opinion. I gotta respect it, but it's not realistic. It's not. Based on facts, come on, bro.
I hope all these guys picking Canelo go to the sports book. It's gonna make us get even money, Georgie. Canelo Canelo wins by penance stare. Ghost Rider.
I don't even think Triple G gonna go on there and try to play with Cat. I think he's just gonna plow through him. I don't think he's gonna go there trying to make it to the rounds, because he knows that Canelo is the money man, and therefore the mafia is gonna give him the benefit of the doubt all day long. So Triple G on his mind, no, he gotta go there and just put this man down. And then how can Canelo stop that? That's gonna be the key. How he gonna stop that? There was another caller saying that Canelo, who was the hands wrap, saying that Canelo fight on his back foot. Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Canelo don't fight on his back.
He said he can't fight on his back foot.
For you?
No, I don't think he can. But he's only been in there with a couple of guys that really move around the ring. But see, Triple G can win this fight several different ways. He can use his power. He can use his boxing skills.
That jab alone, that Triple G jab, he come out with that jab that he used against Lemieux. How Canelo gonna get away from that? Because they both are fast. I mean, it ain't like Canelo gonna go there with an advantage on speed on Triple G. They both are fast. So that's equal. And power, Triple G got the power. I mean, it's a lot of shit that favor Triple G. Size favor Triple G. Power favor Triple G. His skill set, they're about equal too. But then again, I don't know, man. It's just I'm kind of disappointed for last night, and hopefully, like you said, in September, we finally get the disturbed fucking Mexican brawl that we was all expecting.
Yeah. For sure.
Pretty much that's my call, guys. Thank you for listening to me. Everybody out there support and give the thumb up.
Oh, thank you so much, Georgie. Good job, man. Georgie, very good, sir. All right, let's move ahead to 773. 773. You are live.
Hi, guys. This is Dale in Chicago.
Dale,
hello,
how you doing,
Dale?
man?
Hey, guys. Yeah, I got to say, I had a date night with the wife last night. Nice double date. So I couldn't catch the pay-per-view. Otherwise, I was going to go to the bar to see it.
Lucky you.
I was able to pick it up this morning. And, boy, am I glad I didn't shell out the ducats for that. But I got to say, though, undercards, though, hey, you got something there. Those were good. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking Junior needs to go on Maury Pulverton or something, get the fraternity.
Hey, you got that right, yeah. There ain't no way this cat is his son, man. There ain't no way.
Exactly. And I guess can feel good in that my prediction came true. I thought it would be Canelo by decision, and it was Canelo by decision. So we got that going for us. But, man, yeah, like you guys were saying, I came in the show a little late, but I'm sure you covered it. And I know Eric was saying, like, just try. Just, like, throw some punches or something, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, if he laid it all out there and still got dominated, hey, whatever. You know, it is what it is. You got, you know, the better man won. But, man, just Junior looked. Yeah, I don't know. That was rough. I don't know if he got tagged early and was like, all right, screw this. I'm just going to try to survive. I don't know what his thought process was, but anyway, but it is what it is. I'm just excited they pulled the WWE trick and announced that fight right after Triple G in September. And like you said, Robbie, that won't disappoint. That'll be the real Mexican brawl. And yeah, I'll be investing in Beeb Industries on that one too. So,
outstanding, outstanding.
Yeah, and to Nick, that caller Nick, I'm 210, and I'm also not that ripped. So you know, is what it is.
There you go.
Plus,
man.
you know what? They went through VADA, tested the hell out of those guys. VADA tested the hell. I read that they had like 6 T tests and 3 blood tests, and they both passed. So
I don't think any of them.
I don't know,
yeah,
man.
I think that's a long shot. Again, man, the guy's 160 pounds, and you're saying he's ripped. Yeah, he works out every day, and he's 160 pounds. That equals ripped. All right, that's just the way it is.
He's always been in good shape, though. It's just
what do you think? He's gonna look fat? You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on.
You know,
it's just dumb. You know.
Yeah, look at him. He's 26 years old. He's never showed up out of shape. I mean,
right. But all of a sudden he's on steroids?
Come on, man. Yeah, give me a break.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Golovkin didn't look bad for 35 last night either. I mean, come on.
Right.
That's right. Hey, Matisse looked good. Hey, there you go.
So,
Hopkins is ripped
I
at 40.
love the entire undercard, man. All 3 of those fights were good.
Yeah. I mean, Diaz, man, I like that kid a lot. Wish he had some power, but whatever.
Yeah. The only mistake his team is making is they're targeting Gary Russell, and that is a complete mismatch for him.
He's getting a good fight.
Yeah. That's probably not the best move for him.
No, he's a good kid, you know. But that's a mistake if they go that route.
I agree. Yeah, he's a good kid. Real positive, always smiling. Yeah, and good story too. You know, his dad's just a truck driver, never worked in boxing or boxed ever or trained anyone. So, yeah, I would pull for the kid. But yeah, you're right, man. That's a rough matchup. But you know, hey, Robbie, you're the matchmaker, right? You got Beeb's breakdowns and Robbie's matchmaking. So.
There you go.
I like the show.
Believe me, if I was allowed to matchmake for Joseph Diaz, I would not select Jerry Russell Jr. Not unless he wants his first loss, because that's exactly what's going to happen.
Robbie and I are thinking of opening up a promotional company right now.
You guys are going to have like your own 900 number where you give half of the people, like they call up the picks, and then you give half of them, you'll give half of them Triple G, the other half Canelo. Half of you guys just want to make money, you know what I'm saying? I used to do it in football days.
Oh God.
Anyway, go ahead, Dale. What else you got?
Well, that's about it, guys. I just wanted to talk about that. I'm just excited for like you guys said, June and September.
It is,
man.
Good ones and worth every penny. So
that's right.
It is. All right, Dale.
Yep. And,
thank you, sir.
Hey, Eric, maybe I'll see you on the 26th. All right.
Maybe so. You never know, man. You never know. All right, man. We're gonna get running. Thank you, sir. Good call. I like hearing from Dale in Chicago, man.
Dale is smooth.
Yeah, he sure is. All right. Did we go to 612 yet?
No.
All right. Let's go.
No, we not.
612, you are live.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? This is CJ calling from Minnesota.
CJ, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing great, actually. I'm just want to say that there's an upside to this fight, which is the fight that everyone wants has been announced.
Yeah.
And that's the upside to this. Now, the downside was that Mr. Julio Cesar Chavez, who I was giving a whole lot more credit than he deserved, did not produce. Why? I don't know, because he probably had to drop a whole lot of weight. And I think I noticed that early in that first round when he took like 3 or 4 of those body blows, it was like he was cringing after that. It was almost like he took too much at that point, and he just didn't even try to throw more hooks on the inside. And even when Canelo would go back to the ropes, he just let him sit there, and he wouldn't do anything. And I'm thinking, this is his time. This is where he needs to produce. This is where he puts in his work when his opponent's on the ropes. He did nothing. I just think he was there to collect a check, honestly. And that's sad to say. That is so sad to say. He was there to collect a check. Now, of course, on his father's behalf, we all know that he's one of the greatest Mexican fighters to ever live. He would have been there for pride. He would have been there for money. Now, as far as the fight is concerned with Canelo and Triple G, I'm very up in the air about this fight because I don't know who's going to win, honestly. I really don't know, because Triple G is definitely an inside guy, and he does bring it. He comes forward a lot, and he does have that intense left hook, whether it be to the body or to the head. If he lands it, it's a destructive punch. It can seek and destroy. However, with Canelo, we've seen him do a lot more things that he normally has not done. He's becoming more and more of a counterpuncher. He's using the jab a little. He's using the jab a little more too. So, as far as what Beeb said is him not being able to keep him outside, we all know that Canelo doesn't use his jab to keep fighters on the outside. He uses it to be able to place that range with that right hand. He uses it to place the right hand. He doesn't use it specifically to keep his fighter on the outside. He uses it more to where he can get just the right distance to land cleanly with that right hand, so he can land it cleanly and land it effectively. So that's what I've noticed with Canelo. But all in all, we're getting the fight that we want. I mean, it would have been nice if it could have happened right when he beat Cotto. That would have been the perfect time for it. But nonetheless, we're getting it now. And I'm happy for it. And best believe, I bought this pay-per-view, I'll buy the next one. So regardless of what, I'm still going to support the sport of boxing. I'm not going to have anything negative to say about it, because without it, my Saturday night would have been dull. So without the fight, my Saturday would have been nothing.
There you go.
Anyway, another question I want to ask you guys.
Sure.
How well do you guys think this did on pay-per-views? Do you think it hit the million mark?
Nope.
500,000.
I'd say 350.
I said before the fight, I thought it was going to do close to $1 million, but God, after what I saw last night, I hope not.
Yeah, Robbie, that has nothing to do with it. If you bought it, you bought it.
Right, you bought it, yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
know.
Yeah, because honestly,
You get a refund.
I was thinking that the hype
Up your taxes if you want.
was just so crazy that I think it would have gotten the 700,000 mark because of the hype surrounding it. And then to top it off, during the weigh-in, there was 10,000. I mean, that's massive. So I think it may have hit the mark of the 700,000 because of just how the weigh-in turned out. So I hope that I hope for the fact that it did, just so that more eyes are on the sport. But the downside to that is now we gotta talk the casuals into coming again for Triple G, which is the sour taste that has been put in the casuals' mouth.
I don't know.
Now we gotta go back.
Why?
Talk to them again.
Why though? I mean, honestly, like I said, man, I always hope a pay-per-view tanks. I don't care what it is. I always hope a pay-per-view tanks because I hate the model. I just hate the model. I hate paying for fights. I like Heyman's. I like Al Heyman and the PBC. They were putting on fights on NBC and that kind of thing. Showtime, HBO. I don't want to pay for a fight, so I hope every model. I hope all of them tank. So if the casuals come back, hopefully the casuals got burned here, and maybe they don't come back to see it. But I guarantee you this: no matter what, those tickets are going to be sold at the arena. That's going to be a sellout. So yeah, that's my take on it anyway. I mean,
oh yeah, and to be perfectly honest with you, I agree more with the Al Heyman model. I would rather watch a fight for free. I mean, that's definitely what I would prefer to do. But I mean, unfortunately, we have a certain television program or television company who wants to market and wants to distribute pay-per-view models. So I mean, what do you do now? I mean, what do you do? I mean, of course, we could get boxes like Cody and stuff like that. That would be the best way to just go ahead and see if we can just get it that way. But I mean, there's a lot of people out here who are not going to be savvy enough to want to go that route. They're just going to keep going to the cable providers and keep ordering the fights because they want to see them and they're fans of those fighters.
Right.
And they know that's how they can make that dollar. They know they're going to make that dollar no matter what.
There is
keep pushing that model. But I agree more with the Al Heyman model. Absolutely.
Sure.
I mean, I was ecstatic when Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia, which really was a pay-per-view fight, was on free TV. So,
but there is
I prefer that, but
there is a glimmer of hope, and I will say this: when you see guys like Keith Thurman, as you mentioned, Danny Garcia, Deontay Wilder, Sean Porter, this new crop of fighters, Errol Spence, you don't hear these guys say, "I want to be a pay-per-view star." What these guys do say is, "I just want to be a star. I want to fight the best. I want to get my name out there." And I think, they're realizing that you get more eyes on you if you're fighting on CBS than if you're fighting on pay-per-view. And I think these young kids are starting to get it. I think Al Heyman is showing them the way. So, let's see what happens with this new young crop of fighters. Maybe this pay-per-view model will die or at least dwindle significantly moving forward.
Oh, yes, and I agree. I definitely think it will as well, especially if we keep seeing 4.6 million people viewing the fighters on PBC. And then not only that, if the other promoters work together and then they go on to, premiere fights on free TV, and then they see how significantly well it does when the pay-per-view dollar, they're now showing their fighters on free TV, and now they're getting a bigger fan base because they're now on free TV. So it's going to take time for that model to actually shape its course and for more people or more promoters to actually get it and understand and want to do it full on and fully go hands on with it. But I'm happy at the fact that the fight is finally here that we want, that everyone wants. But it's going to be a good fight no matter what. And like Donati said in the ring, this is going to be the real Mexican fight that we all wanted.
Yeah, I would go along with that for sure.
But, nonetheless, I do thank you guys for giving us the great show. And
thank you,
for everyone, continue supporting this particular program because they're great. They break down the fights very well, and everybody has their own objective on the fights, and you guys just do a great job. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, man.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, CJ. Thank you for the call. Very good stuff. All right. Let's see here. Let's go to 405-770 and 647. We're coming. We're going to go to 405 first. I think this is Santos. 405. You're live.
How you guys doing tonight?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Santos, what's up? Not much. Hey, Beeb, you need some investors for Beeb Industries. I'm going to go in on you.
You're going to come in? You're going to come in? All right.
Hey, you know those odds are good.
You know what else we're gonna do?
Those odds are like minus 700, minus 800.
Santos, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make new shirts. You know what the shirts are gonna say on them? Beeb Industries is creating a new shirt.
What?
Stare downs do not win fights. What's that, baby?
There you go.
How's that one, baby?
There you go.
Yeah, that's the thing.
$9.95.
Because I just didn't get it. He looked intimidated, or he wasn't looking in the eyes. But now I didn't watch the undercard because they had me outside on the grill. And so when the fight started, the main event, I came inside and it was really disappointing because I knew Canelo was going to win. I was pulling for Chavez, but I knew what was going to happen. But everybody expected at least a little fight from Chavez, you know what I mean?
Something.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry you missed the undercard. They were good fights.
Man, the thing I don't get is people are saying that Canelo has a good defense, but Ruslan would have looked good against Chavez last night.
That's right.
He wasn't throwing anything back. But one big difference between Canelo and Jacobs is Jacobs has better footwork. He can get out of it pretty quick. And Canelo has none of that.
Yeah.
Yep. Canelo is tailor-made for Triple G. Tailor-made.
I can see this fight going two ways. It's basically how Triple G wants it. He could either the back foot with the jab, just breaking them down slowly, or just come forward and just take him out if he wants pretty quick. Because I don't see him having enough power to stop him. If he can stop Cotto, and he was hitting those heavy shots, Cotto, and he could stop. What do you think? How long do you think Chavez would have lasted with Guinea last night? You think he goes 4 rounds with Kennedy, Chavez Jr.?
No way. No, he doesn't know. No way.
Gennady would have got him out of there within 3 rounds.
Yeah. Oh, that Chavez that showed up last night. Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's getting murked in like under 4 rounds.
You know, and I was saying that earlier. If you can't take out 154-pound Cotto, who's not even in his prime anymore, and Manny Pacquiao was able to do it, a much smaller guy who doesn't supposedly hit as hard as you, then I don't know. If he can't hurt Golovkin and prevent him from getting inside, I don't see any way he can win this fight. I just don't.
Well, because Georgie brought up a good point. Go ahead, Robbie.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Santos.
Now, Georgie brought up a good point. He's never faced a puncher before. I started looking back on this thing to his fights. Like, Trout's not a puncher like that. Lada ain't. Angulo wasn't. Cotto is what he's done. Liam Smith wasn't. Of course, Amir Khan wasn't. But and supposedly was supposed to get in this fight to get acclimated to that weight or whatever. But what did he get? Charles didn't throw anything back at him. So.
Yeah. I like Canelo, man. I just think the style's all wrong for him. I really do.
Yeah. I don't understand what the purpose of this fight was now that it's happened, other than making money, because the promotion going into the fight was, well, this will get him used to fighting at middleweight, and you'll get to see how good he looks. Well, you can look good when you have a mannequin standing across the ring from you. I mean, but
it was the biggest fight in Mexico. I heard a lot of people say that, but it was the biggest fight in Mexico. It was the biggest fight that could be made for Canelo. Outside, give me a bigger fight. Give me a bigger fight. Outside of this fight, give me a bigger fight. Aside from Canelo Triple G, give me a bigger fight. You can't find one. There's not one.
No, you're right.
I mean, there's not.
Again, you have super fights and you have super events. You have big fights, big. This was a big event.
You could say, and you could say Ward Kovalev. You can fire back and say, well, there's going to be one on the 17th with Ward Kovalev.
But it's not going to garner the same attention. It's not going to garner the same attention.
Look at the pay-per-view. What was the pay-per-view numbers on that fight last time?
Like 150?
200,000?
Yeah, I mean, guaranteed. It was less than 200,000. Guaranteed.
Yeah. I think this one does. I think this one does at least 500,000. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so it was the biggest fight. But anybody's, the Chavez. The Chavez.
Yeah, I think this Chavez one did like 500,000.
and I hear a lot of people saying that, but that's, like I said, man, it's the biggest fight that could have been made. The next bigger one, Canelo Triple G. That's it. Those are the biggest fights.
No, you're right, Eric. Because if in Golden Boy, the way Oscar probably was looking at it, like, well, we'll give him, if we fight Kennedy in September and he beats my guy, at least got to get one more big payday before that fight.
Huge paydays.
And who else was he going to play like that? Like, just going to get pay Junior just a flat fee. And he said he's going to take all the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Junior's not getting none of it.
No. It's going to be I'm sure it's going to be favorable to Canelo, and it should be. Quite honestly, I mean, you saw Triple G's pay-per-view numbers; they're tanked. Both of them.
And to be honest, let's say Canelo does lose to Triple G, I think he still comes out. He'll take a loss, but it's not going to hurt him bad because he fought Triple G. You know what I mean? He'll still have his fan base backing him up.
Yeah, I mean, he puts up a good.
Pick him back up again.
He puts a Chavez-like effort on him, then that's going to hurt him. But if he puts a good effort in a losing, puts a good account of himself. He loses the fight. Nobody cares. He doesn't lose any face. He doesn't lose it. He doesn't lose. His stock doesn't go down that much. It doesn't go down that much.
No, and also keep another thing in mind. Say Canelo does lose. Guess what, folks? I bet you that contract says there's a rematch clause. We'll be doing this again.
Somebody in the chat just said, as far as pay-per-view buys for the Canelo Chavez, 700,000, but with the refunds, 400,000.
No, I didn't watch it. I went to my brother's house to watch it because I bought the Top Ring pay-per-view card because I'm like Beeb. I just buy everything that comes out. Well, I'm thinking about that one though.
I have my Comcast bill set to auto pay for pay-per-views.
Santos, I would have bought that Top Rank card, but it was on the wrong day. It was the same night as Porter and Berto, so I watched that instead.
No, Oscar playing something out pretty good because if it hadn't been for that announcement at the end of the fight, this main event sucked anyways. It's one of the worst ones I've seen on the pay-per-view. It was bad, but
yeah.
Everybody's not talking about what happened during the fight. Everybody's talking about what happened after the fight. That's what.
Well, and like I said, the undercards were very, very good. I watched all 6 of those fights, even the 3 before the main pay-per-view that DirecTV gave us.
I think Batista did a really good job. Emmanuel Thiel is a tough out. He's a tough out, man.
I thought he looked great.
I was happy to see him come back. I thought the Lemieux fight was good too. His opponent was game. He landed some good shots. He came back. He tried to win. I thought he was going to get knocked out, but he wasn't. So, and I was surprised the corner didn't throw in the towel. But the kid kept punching. So we'll see. It was a decent card.
One more question for y'all.
Sure.
Don't you think a good fight would be between of course it's going to be kind of hard to make because it's Golden Boy and Alien, but David Lemieux and Danny Jacobs. Don't you think Danny Jacobs should be already fighting? Like at least already have a fight set like in June, July.
Well, see, that's one of the major problems I have with the PBC is here Danny fought March 18th, and we're going to be going into June, and nothing is put on paper. I think a David Lemieux, Danny Jacobs fight would be a good fight.
Yeah, that would be an awesome fight.
Wow. They're missing out on that. They're missing out on it because Danny Jacobs did pretty good against Guinea. A lot of people had him win. I didn't have him winning, but a lot of people say he won. But they should ride on that momentum and get him a fight pretty quick so everybody can remember him.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, Santos.
That's all I got, guys.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, see you later.
Always good to hear.
All right, Santos. Be good.
That's it. 770, you're live.
What's up, guys? It's Real Talk.
Real Talk. What's up?
Real Talk. What's up, brother?
You know what? What's up, Beeb? What's up? Hey, guys, I got a lot to talk about.
Let it out. It's been a while.
I'll start with the undercards. I thought that Matisse is pretty much done, guys. And I'm gonna tell you why. Yeah, I mean, he looked decent. I mean, he looked like the puncher, the banger that we all came to know. But the deal with Matisse is Matisse, if you ever look back in time when Matisse, I guess Matisse versus like Zab Judah, at that time Matisse was a little more conservative. He was a little more based on more fundamentals, and he, you know, he wasn't like, I'm gonna knock you out as my first option. He was more of a sort of a boxer, and I think he went on that big knockout streak, and I don't think he ever returned back to earth. I think he kind of, at that point, he was so you know, he was so into the knockout, and he got so much satisfaction, and out of that, I don't think he ever advanced his skills as far as a boxer. And I think that's what's really hurting him. I think, you know, his ability to put punches together are awesome, I think. But the problem is like you can only fight a fight, you know, with that type of, you know, you can only fight that fight for so long in the fight to where you're going to gas out and your opponent. You're not going to, you know what I'm saying? You're going to get into where somebody who's not going to, you're not going to do that to. And then what do you do if that's what you're looking to do? And that's what's happened to Matisse and David Lemieux as well. I think those guys, they're just not going to change. I mean, he says he's going to make an adjustment against Gennady, but I think it's going to be worse the second go around. I mean, good luck to Matisse as far as, you know, I just feel like that guy he was fighting, that was the guy he lost to Broner, I believe. That guy lost to Broner. Yeah, so he was supposed to do what he did against the guy, but if he gets in there with any decent level fighter, I see he's probably going to lose, probably going to get stopped. You know what I mean, if he gets in there with any decent level. But I like Matisse, and I was big on him when he was coming up, and you know, I had him over Danny Garcia, and I still think that, you know, that was a close fight, you know, considering I didn't really call that a knockdown when he got his head trapped behind the ropes. But I feel like he just went in the wrong direction. I think he's like just a headhunter looking for the knockout now. So, but on to the Triple G and Canelo and Chavez. I gave Chavez a chance because I thought, you know, he was going to come in there and, you know, take an ass of punishment and just, you know, gas Canelo out. And I figured Canelo would be holding a lot of weight. Y'all set up, man. I'm my kids. So I figured he would, you know, Canelo would gas a little bit, and Chavez was just too big. And, you know, he'd be punching up at Chavez. And I kind of saw like maybe a Margarita Cotto type of thing, you know, just a slow motion version of it. And, you know, I guess Canelo surprised me in that aspect. But what I will say is this, you know, Chavez did the same thing that he always does. He don't throw play. He gets in there and he don't do shit, you know. And I thought he was going to be up for this fight. I was thinking maybe Chavez versus Andy Lee type of thing, but fuck, that didn't happen. So fuck it, you know what I'm saying? But as far as Triple G, all right, I'm going to talk to you, Beeb, because I'm going to ask you a question. What does Canelo do in every fight that you can't do against Triple G?
What does he do in every fight that you can't do against Triple G? I'm going to tell you what he does, and I think I know what you're going to say.
That is really.
He goes to the ropes. He goes to the ropes.
Thank you. Thank you.
See how smart you are. You've been listening to the Beeb for years, and he's been rubbing off on you. I'm so proud of you.
Huh?
Yep. I said, you've been listening to the Beeb for years, and I finally rubbed off on you. And he does do that a lot.
Can you drop your guard at any point in the fight against Triple G? Can you relax at any point? Can you relax? Let me say that again. Can you relax at any point?
No.
And here's something else you can't do.
People were giving Canelo a pass once again, saying that he was just trying to invite Chavez in. And dude, the guy gets tired in fights. He takes breaks. You cannot do that because there's no way you could drop your hands or do anything like that. That's number one. It's not a 12-round fighter. Canelo's not a 12-round fighter. It's just simple as that. And you have to, number two, let me give you another thing. Number two, the only way you can beat Triple G is not moving forward or moving backwards. And I'm going to tell you, the only way you have a chance, the only way you have a chance is your attack up. You have to move forward, move backwards. You have to be a step ahead of Triple G. You know, I mean, Mayweather's done that in a lot of fights. He just stays a step ahead of you, period. You have to, because once he figures what, like if you're doing the same thing for too long, for so many seconds, it goes in. Okay, there's a salute. I see what he's doing. I got the answer. For whatever you're doing in the ring, Triple G already has the answer for it. He has to register it. So whatever you're doing, he's got the solution for it. So if you're not mixing it up and staying ahead and showing him different things where he can't register fast enough, that's the only way you're gonna beat him, because you're not gonna outbox him with one style just doing the same thing. And I haven't never known Canelo to be effective backing up. I've seen him back up and shell up, but I've never seen him really be effective on his back foot. So.
Yeah.
But there again, like I said, you can't do one style. You can't just back up and beat him or come forward and beat him. You'd have to do like an Andre Ward, where Andre's fighting on the outside, then he closes the distance and ties you up. That's, you know, a Hopkins or some type of style like that. You're not going to beat him with one or the other style. Does that make sense, B?
It certainly does make sense, because, you know, if you're going to try and be a counterpuncher against Golovkin, and you're going to wait on him and lean back and try to set traps for him, he's going to overwhelm you, because he's not going to throw one punch at a time at you. And he mixes it up, and he goes downstairs, and he throws a lot of variations of punches. He throws a wide variety of punches, this guy. And it's going to be hard to try to fight a slow-paced fight against him. You can't fight a slow-paced fight against this guy. You know, Jacobs kept touching him with something.
Right. I felt that Danny Jacobs didn't win. I felt that Golovkin won that fight, but I went back and I watched the slow motion, or what do you say, the film study. And what I noticed is that the reason why there's a lot of little things that I thought he won out just off the power shots and everything else. But if you go back and look at the fight, he really won it handedly, because there's a lot of little work that you don't see with Triple G. When you go back and you put it in slow motion, you see what happens when you actually look at the film study. And what I noticed is that what Triple G is good at, and everybody criticizes him about his counterpunching ability, but what it is that what he's doing is what it seems like he's countering you, but he's a step ahead of a counterpuncher. What he'll do is he'll engage you, make you go to throw your shot, but beat you to the punch.
Yeah, he'll punch with you.
With his body language is he's making you try and counter him. It's almost like he's like Houdini, or that guy who sets the stage. He'll set it up for you to do something, then he knows what you're going to do, and then he'll beat you to it before you can do it. Does that make sense?
He tries to get inside your. He tries to get inside your combination, so he punches with you. He tries to get inside your combination. He punches with you, but he shortens up his shot, and he's able to get there before you because of how he adjusts the punch. And he's able to throw punches and then change them up in midair.
Yeah,
I've seen him throw a punch.
Yeah,
I seen him throw a jab, get ready to throw a jab, and then his opponent kind of changes, where he is in the ring, and then he'll just automatically instantaneously turn it into a hook, and he's able to do that.
Right. And he uses that left hand.
90 seconds.
That left hand.
Let me jump in here. Let me jump in here real quick. You just heard the 90-second cue. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But if you're still online, if you're waiting to talk, just wait there, and we will get to you, so you will not get cut off. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he uses that left hand to put you where he wants you, and then that right hand sort of you know what I mean? It's sort of going to find you based on the left hand, positioning you.
60 seconds.
But the footwork, of Triple G, obviously is better. Canelo, and just you can't lay on the ropes. you just can't do that because I see a body shot. I think it's going to be. I think Canelo's going to lose with a body shot. I've said that a long time ago, and I feel like he's going to get stopped with a body shot because, like I said, you can't take breaks in fighting. When he did that with Mayweather was able to open up. It's almost like your opponent knows you can't really defend. You're kind of taking a break, so you can't really do anything. And I think most of the people if you look at the Kell Brook, he was able to get
10 seconds.
I would drop his hands for just a second, almost like a guy adjusting his trunks, or if you hit a guy, it's tit for tat. So if I hit a guy, then it's his turn. You know what I'm saying? Back and forth. That's usually how you was able to get Triple G, is just if it's like a back and forth thing. But if you just sit there and you're like, and you're like for like seconds on out, just sitting there, I mean, it's free reign. You cannot give Triple G free reign. You just can't. There's certain guys you just can't do that with. Big punchers like that, you can't let them have free reign. It'll be target practice, and Chavez couldn't do it. He gave Chavez plenty of opportunities. He just couldn't do it because Chavez is the type of puncher that he has to use his body weight behind the punch. So he has to kind of get his timing and his rhythm. So he's sitting there waiting. Like he'll duck his head down, and he's waiting to be able to get his timing and his balance so he can throw all of his weight into the shot. And you can't rely on that. You know what I mean? Like you just can't, and you have to be a guy who knows how to technically punch, you know what I mean, with the, being able to sit down on his shots. And Chavez just don't have the technique. He don't have the punch technique to be able to generate power, very quickly. And he has to get that right timing and that right rhythm. And it's just, he's waiting too long, man. So, but anyway, man, that's what I think, guys. I mean, I think it might be an easy fight for Triple G if after the third round. Like Canelo's going to gas. If you notice in the third or fourth round of the Chavez fight, he was already taking a break on the ropes. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Was it the fourth round? He
fights in spurts. He fights in spurts, and he always has.
That's why, he was calling him to the ropes.
Yeah,
he was calling him right to the ropes.
You can't do that.
No.
You can't do that. There's no way in hell. I mean, there's no way in hell he went out. Who was able to hit Kell Brook? Who has ever able to? Triple G went out there and Kell Brook was on the ropes for 2 seconds, and Triple G went over like a 4-punch combination to the body and the head, and had him out on his feet already. You know what I'm saying? Had him doing a chicken leg. Like who does that to Kell Brook? The guy's got amazing reflexes, and Triple G's not supposed to be fast or any of this. But how is he able to put gloves on it when a fast Sean Porter couldn't even barely touch Kell Brook, a welterweight?
But he doesn't get tired either.
Able to lay hands on Kell Brook like that.
And he never gets tired.
Or you can't say, he just bullied him. It was the first fucking round. He didn't even tell his power. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. He never gets tired.
Power, and it wasn't like he conceded. It wasn't like Kell Brook conceded. Kell Brook got outboxed in that first round.
Yes.
At least at the beginning of it.
Yeah, it is.
So
good deal, man.
How did he do it? You guys tell me. How did he lay hands on Kell Brook? Tell me that.
He's good. That's how
he cut the ring off, and he trapped him on the ropes, and he didn't give him any space to move. That's how he did it.
And I think the combinations, the fact that he comes in, I will say Canelo's pretty good at throwing combinations, and that's his only thing that'll help him in the fight. But you can't do that in spurts. You know what I mean? No. And I'm sure Triple G's watching that tape, and he's looking to see what he needs to be cautious of in regards to Canelo. But I think the combination punches, you just have to worry about when Canelo's in range to punch, you got to worry about, you know what I mean, the combinations coming. And then, I feel like, Triple G will probably, let Canelo tire out a little bit and maybe be cautious like he did against, the other punchers that he fought. But Canelo's going to give him way too many opportunities in the middle and the late in that fight. If like Danny Jacobs was moving, he got dropped still, but he was not. I mean, he didn't give Triple G the opportunity that I feel that Canelo will give, and that's, to me, that's just, you can't do that. So, all right, guys. Well,
All right, real talk,
That's
man.
my 2 cents.
Oh, we appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for calling in. Good take, man. Good analysis on those fights, man, for sure. Yeah, he had some good points there, man, for sure. Had some really good points. Beeb, what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think he sees a lot of the same things I see. I think that, a guy Canelo, again, this is no knock on him.
Broke it right down, man. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of flaws. It's just that, the pace of how he fights and the style in which he fights, it's just not conducive, to what he needs to do in this fight. This is the wrong style for him. This is a guy who's strong. He's big, strong, underrated hand speed, underrated foot speed, and he just really has a tight, tough offensive game on the inside. And it's hard to keep this guy off you if you can't move well and if you're not big and strong enough to hold him and contain him.
Yeah.
And that's just it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right, last call of the night. 647, you are live, and then we're going to get to the news.
Yeah.
647?
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Oh, hi, hey, guys. Hi, it's a first-time caller from Canada.
All right. What's your name?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Raymond.
Raymond, okay.
Oh, welcome aboard,
Yeah,
Raymond.
absolutely, man.
Yeah. So, talk about, David Lemieux, man. That guy, man, he hits hard as hell. I don't know how that guy took all those shots. What do you guys think about that?
I tell you what, I was shocked. I mean, that David Lemieux didn't put that guy away, and it was no knock on Lemieux because he was hitting them flush. I was more frustrated with Marcos Reyes because Reyes, he was landing shots on him, and I thought he won. I think it was the 4th and 5th round. I gave him the 4th and 5th round, I think it was, or maybe 5th and 6th, one of those rounds. And I thought maybe he's going to come on like Lemieux was going to tire or something like that. Man, Lemieux just kept hitting him, and Marcos didn't have the power to put him in any real danger. And Lemieux just walked right through him. But
right.
Punches that Lemieux hit this guy with, wow! I couldn't believe he made it to the end of the fight. I really couldn't.
Remember that? Yeah, remember that uppercut? How did that not knock him out? I don't understand. That uppercut Lemieux landed.
Yeah.
I remember. I think it was 4th round. And it didn't seem to even wobble him. It was just, what the hell? What is this guy even human?
I was watching the fight.
Right?
Yeah, I was watching the fight with my dad, and when he hit him with that shot, we both were like, "Whoa!" And then we both he had to see that coming. If he saw the shot coming, I mean, he could take that, but he had to see that coming because, man, to stand up, I mean, geez, that was a shot, boy.
Yeah, and as far as the main event goes, since from the beginning when the fight was signed, I always thought it was a mismatch because I never thought much of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And that's how the fight played out. He didn't do much at all. Do you guys think Canelo looked sensational? I'm not going to take anything away from him. His combination punching, his speed, it was he looked amazing. But the thing is, Julio Cesar Chavez didn't do anything. He didn't even. I mean, I was watching and I saw he had opportunities to land on Junior, but he opted out to just stand there and keep eating jabs. I'm like, you guys think he was drained or am I making an excuse?
Who, Canelo? Or you talking about Chavez Jr.?
Chavez.
No,
Yeah.
Chavez said he was drained. You know what? He's got he's got a bunch of excuses now. He said that he was drained for the weight. He blamed the game plan on Nacho. He said it was the wrong game plan, blah, blah, blah. The bottom line is he didn't want to win that fight.
Wait, he blamed Nacho?
Yeah, after the fight. You heard him say after the fight, excuse me, in the interview, he didn't come right out and said it, but he said it was a bad game plan. And he said his trainer likes him to box like that, his trainer being Nacho, and that wasn't his fight to fight.
Yeah.
And listen,
Right. Yeah.
if you get hit and you're losing the fight, you're going to revert back to what you're not going to listen. You're going to try to win that fight. He didn't want to win that fight. He was just he was just trying not to get knocked out or hurt. That's what it was.
Right. Yeah. So I was, thinking while watching, the main event, I think Canelo in preparation for the Triple G fight, he should have fought maybe David Lemieux just as a measuring stick because, to me, I don't think Canelo has yet to face a power puncher in his career yet. What do you guys think?
Well, here's the deal with that is that, again, I mean, we kind of go back to the politics and everything like that. Ideally, he should have fought David Lemieux to give him that 160-pound measuring stick.
Absolutely, Eric.
Body.
Absolutely, Eric. Great point. Great point, Eric.
But again, you know, you go back to the politics of this whole thing. The money fight in the division, the money fight everywhere in boxing was Chavez and Canelo. So why pass that up? Because Chavez almost took a loss with Britch. I mean, he didn't almost take a loss, but he didn't look stellar in that, you know, in that fight. And who's he going to fight next? So that's the biggest fight that could be made. And then, you know, Lemieux, while it's a better fight for him, it's a better fight. It's a better fight all around. We know at least Lemieux would have tried to win. But money wise,
I think Lemieux would probably knock out Canelo.
You know, I tell you what, I don't, you know, that's a good fight. I don't know who I pick in that one. That's a good fight. I think you have to favor Canelo in that one. But man, I tell you what, Lemieux was a live dog in that one, man.
Yes, he is.
Sure. Yeah, I don't.
I know.
That's a tough one.
Tough one.
Yeah, because I'm on these boxing Facebook groups, and everyone's ready because I brought this up, and everyone was dogging me. I'm like, mismatch. I'm like, wait a minute. Canelo's never faced a guy that even hits even half as hard as David Lemieux. And the thing with David Lemieux is he's not just a power puncher, but like the speed on those punches is pretty incredible, and you can keep it up for a good 8 rounds.
They said that
that's why
they said that Lemieux and Canelo was a mismatch.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. No, that's not a mismatch at all. That's to me, I tell you, that's almost a toss-up fight. Like I said, I mean, odds-wise, I think you have to favor Canelo. He's got a better resume than Lemieux. But going up there, I mean, that's not a walkover, put it that way. No, that's not a mismatch at all, man.
So I'm calling into the show pretty late, so I didn't get your guys' take on who do you guys think would win in a match between Triple G and Canelo?
We all, I think, as of right now, we all took Triple G. And for myself, again, man, if you put a gun to my head and ask me today, I'm going to say Triple G. If you ask me tomorrow, I may say Canelo. Canelo, again, man, everybody's saying, there's been a lot of good points for Canelo. There's been a lot of good points for Triple G. But I think everybody, a lot of people are saying Triple G is just going to go in there and murk this guy, man. Canelo's not an easy out for anybody. He's not an easy out for anybody, man. So, for everybody to write off Canelo that quick, man, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think what separates, what the difference will be in the fight is Triple G's jab, I believe. I mean, I would say Canelo his jab might have as much as power as Triple G's, but it's not as versatile. Like he almost uses it like Lemieux just to just to get in, kind of. But he can't really use it going backwards. He doesn't use it to set up stuff. It's only to do damage, and the jabs you can do much more than that, with the jab. But anyways, great show, guys. I'll call you next week.
Oh, thank you, sir, man. Thank you very much. Good.
Awesome. Thank you, brother.
From Canada, baby. From Canada. Look at that. He led off with David Lemieux, too. That was beautiful. I love it, man. I love it.
Yep.
All right. So let's talk about the rest. My God, we haven't even got to most of the show here. All right, let's get moving here. All right, so let's talk about David Lemieux, decisioned Marcos Reyes, 98-91, 99-90 to twice. We've kind of talked about that fight. We've talked about Lucas Matisse knocked out Emmanuel Taylor in the 5th round. Joseph Diaz Jr. versus Tino Avila. Diaz won a unanimous decision, 190 and 99-91 twice. Beeb, what do I tell you what, Joseph Diaz, I like Joseph Diaz. And Robbie alluded to it earlier. They're calling out, they're kind of chasing Gary Russell. That's I don't think that's going to be good for him. Especially with lack of power like Diaz shows. I mean, because he's a crisp boxer. I don't think you can take that away from him. He's a very crisp boxer. But what are your thoughts on Joey Diaz's power, man?
I don't think he's really a hard puncher. I think it just doesn't seem like he really can get a guy's attention. He's a good combination puncher, puts shots together well. But there's just not a lot of snap on his shots. I just don't think he's a natural hard puncher. You hear a lot of people say that punchers are born. And, you really can't teach power. I mean, you can improve upon technique. Maybe he can punch a little bit harder if he maybe, I don't know, put a little bit more snap, turn the shots over a little bit better than he does. But this does not seem like a real hard, crisp type puncher.
Yeah, I agree. Then we had a heavyweight championship over the weekend that was not televised. Go figure that one out. WBO heavyweight champion Joseph Parker defended his title against Razvan Kajanu with a unanimous decision in New Zealand. Parker was in control but never really hurt Kajanu. Scores were 119, 108, 117, 110, 117, 110. Interesting notice, Huey Fury came out and says, well, I know I could beat Joseph Parker now, and he's the one that pulled out of the fight. Listen, then you should have fought.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're injured or whatever, but don't come. I mean, the guy defended his title. He showed up that night. He showed up for work, fought, won. It wasn't a stirring performance, but hey, 119, 108, 117, 110 twice. I mean, that's you beat the guy. You may not have hurt him, but you beat him pretty sound. So hey, it is what it is. So, hey, listen, man, you want the title, you show up for the title. You don't want the title, you stay home. That's that simple, Robinson Castellanos scored a big upset over Yuriokis Gamboa. Gamboa is down in the second and fourth rounds, was not able to answer the bell for the eighth. This was a monster upset, and honestly, to me, man, this kind of is the end of the road for Gamboa. Gamboa claims he felt super dizzy and cannot come out for the eighth round, I believe. So, Robert, do you think this is the end of the road for Gamboa?
Yeah, I think this is the end of the road for Gamboa, and I think it's the end of the road for Chavez. They can go pick up each other's tabs and talk about how wonderful their careers were.
Oh, wow. Awful. Just so harsh. Let's move on to our upcoming fights here. May 11th in Connecticut, Delvin Rodriguez versus Courtney Pennington, 10 rounds, junior middleweights. And I believe that's televised, but I think that's a Thursday. So I believe it's like a PBC fight, but I'm not 100% on that. There's no network associated with it. Then in Baltimore on May 12th, Nick Kisner, this is part of the Baltimore boxing thing. Nick Kisner versus Alex Guerrero, 10 rounds cruiserweights, and Vinny Paz, friend of the show, will be in attendance there. So if you're there in the Baltimore area, go over there and get his autograph or talk to him and get your picture with him. He's a good guy, great interview. He's awesome, man. He's got a billion stories. If you heard his interview, man, there's a billion stories the guy's got. May 13th, the big one this weekend here. Kalia from Birmingham, England. Beeb, Kalia 5 versus Suguru Murunaka. 12 rounds for Yafai's WBA junior bantamweight title. And Sam Eggington back on the card here against Serafino Rodriguez. 12 rounds for Rodriguez's European welterweight title. Frankie Gavin also on that card against Dave Ryan. 10 rounds welterweights. Beeb, have you seen Yafai fight Cal Yafai? He comes in. I mean, they love him. And he's pretty good, right?
Yeah, he's a firecracker, man. This guy's got a very exciting style. Throws a lot of punches. Very active fighter. Got a little bit of pop too. Courtesy of Davey Boy Essex, I've seen this guy fight. Definitely an up-and-comer. Definitely a tough, good little fighter.
Yeah, absolutely. There's another card in Leeds.
None of these fights are on.
No, they may be on Box Nation. You have to stream them or go subscribe to Davey Boy Essex channel.
Davey Boy Essex will take care of you.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
He'll take care of you. You got to start taking care of him, guys.
Yeah, right. Go follow.
Set up a nice tab for him or something.
Subscribe, man. At Leeds, England, this will be on Box Nation or something like that as well. This is another one. Josh Warrington versus Kiko Martinez, 12 rounds in their featherweights. And again, Davey Boy will have that one up, I'm sure. And then let me see here. Am I reading this right? No, this can't be, but maybe it is. On May 13th. Wow, get ready for this one from Ypsilanti, Michigan. Are you guys ready? You guys ready for this? Are you sure? James Toney versus Mike Shepard, 12 rounds heavyweights. K9 Bundridge also on the card. Leonardo Tyner on that card as well. Wow, for real? Wow.
No offense to anybody here, but who the hell gave James Toney a boxing license? The last time I seen him interviewed, he can't even talk.
Yeah, he's wow, that's sad, man. That is very, very sad.
Look, I'm sorry. We do a boxing podcast. We support this sport. We do this every week. But what idiot gave him a boxing license? Seriously.
Yeah. You know what? Wow. That's insane. Yeah, I mean, if you ever seen this guy like give an interview, if you ever seen him like give an interview lately, he can't talk. I mean, honestly, he can't talk.
So how the hell do you pass a medical physical for a boxing license?
Yeah. Wow. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
Back me up here, Beeb. What the hell is going on here?
Beeb wants to see him fight.
I mean, again, we've seen multiple fighters get licensed. It depends on the commission you go to. James Toney's very well known in the Midwest area, so I'm sure he's connected.
He's a Michigan guy. He's from
He's from Ann Arbor.
Ann Arbor, that's where it was. Yeah, he's Ann Arbor. Yeah.
So I mean, he's connected there. So of course they're going to take care of him.
Wow. Well, they're not taking care of him. I'll tell you that.
Well, he's getting a payday somehow.
A horrible mistake, man.
Yeah, right.
He's getting a payday somehow, somewhere.
Wow. God, that was sadness, man. All right, and that should do it for this weekend. I want to give a shout out, man, to Carlo Rotella and Michael Ezra. They are two authors of a book called The Bittersweet Science. And they sent this book to me. I got an email from Michael Ezra. He sent this book to me, wanted me to take a look at it, and we're going to have him on in a couple of weeks for an interview. But the book is about 15 writers in 15 different stories of being in the gym, in fighters' corners, and at the ringside. It's a very unique book, and it gives you their perspective. It's almost like I'm not big on like stories, okay? And what this book does is it kind of cuts it into pieces, and it's not a story per se, but they're like short stories, where they'll tell you, they'll give you like a short story and it's a couple pages long or, X amount of pages. And then you move on to the next, which is completely different and just gives you a different take. But it's so cool hearing about these the different experiences that these guys had, that the different writers had. It's just amazing, man. And like I said, we'll have these guys in a couple weeks. But if in the meantime, guys, go to Amazon, check this book out. It's called The Bittersweet Science by Carlo Rotella and Michael Ezra. And you got to check it out. We will have these guys on for an interview soon. So don't forget, subscribe to Beating the Odds with Beeb or in our podcast also, so you don't miss that interview. But very good book, man. So guys, definitely go check it out. All right, let's move on to our news and rumors here. Anthony Joshua will fight twice a year from now on. Quoted by Eddie Hearn, "I think he becomes the biggest sports star in Britain now. It's only the beginning. He wants another 8 to 10 years in the sport and feels like he's had that legacy-defining fight on Saturday, but there's such a long way to go. We're only going to box twice a year because the fights are so huge and the camps are so long. It's the World Heavyweight Championship. It's not the British Heavyweight Championship. We have got a chance here to keep these events huge in Britain, which we want to do, but we also want to break new boundaries." And he talks about going to, other countries to fight and everything. And that's great. If you fight twice a year, if you're like established and you're like a Canelo, my take on this is a horrible move. This is a horrible move because Joshua's only got 19 fights. He's still learning. And if you watch that Klitschko fight, he made a lot of bad mistakes in that fight. He came out on the winning end, but he did a lot of things great. Don't get me wrong, but he made a lot of mistakes in that fight. He's not a seasoned fighter. And with only 19 fights, he's still learning. I would keep feeding this guy, get him the experience that he needs before you go to fighting twice a year. I mean, they've already got this guy on legendary status. It's horrible.
This is a horrible move.
Eddie Hearn?
Granted, he's now the man in the heavyweight division, but this is horrible.
What do I always say, Robert? What do I always say about Eddie Hearn? He's a career killer. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, that's exactly what he's going to do here because Joshua still has things he's got to learn. And yeah, you can work on things in the gym, but really the only way you really learn things is go out and do it under the lights in the ring. I understand if you're Triple G, you're Canelo, you're Floyd Mayweather, you're Manny Pacquiao, and you want to fight twice a year because you're already established, that's fine. But you've got the best commodity in boxing, and yet you're only gonna use it twice a year. He has a chance to have a legendary title reign here, but he does not have enough experience yet to reach that status. You need to keep him active. This is a horrible move by Eddie Hearn. Beeb, I want to see you, since you're the UK guy, defend this guy, because this is wrong here.
Hey,
totally
Beeb.
Wrong.
Hey, Beeb, before you get going on this, Eddie Hearn's a wank. Go ahead.
Well, I put all my faith in the world and the best promoter in the world. He knows what he's doing. And as the fights get tougher, the recovery time becomes longer.
He took care of Kell Brook, didn't he?
Well, as I told you, Kell Brook barged into that office one day and he started flipping over tables. He started flipping over tables. Eddie was a little bit nervous, so he all right, Kell, if you're this adamant about having the fight, we'll give it to you.
Eddie saw the bill collectors at the door, and he told Kell Brook, "You're gonna fight, or you're gonna fight, or else." That's what he did.
But this is nothing new in the sport of boxing. Once a fighter starts, getting those big paydays, fighting tougher opposition, he's in bigger, tougher fights.
One big payday, to be precise. Yep. I think we lost Beeb. Did we lose him? Maybe he froze. I don't know.
No, I froze again. I'm so sorry. So as I was saying, once a fighter gets to that level where he's making really big paydays and he's fighting tougher opposition, as I said, I think that you start to take your foot off the gas pedal a little bit because the fights are tougher. And again, as they said, the training camps are going to be more intense because you're fighting better opposition, and the recovery time is, as I said earlier, is going to be longer. So I'm not against the move because, again, you're going to be fighting tougher guys. You're going to, everyone's, you got a bullseye on your head. Everyone's going to be coming at you, and you're not fighting, the same guys you fought as you were coming up. Fighting in 6 rounders or 8 rounders or 10 rounders. And you're going to be fighting in 12-round, really tough competitive fights against the top guys in the division. You're going to be making multi-million-dollar paydays. So your life has changed. And it's just the way it is. I mean, any top fighter out there, you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone that fights more than twice a year, with the exception of probably someone like Triple G. So I'm not against it. I think the amount of experience and how much he was able to learn in that one fight against Klitschko is immeasurable. He grew up overnight in that fight, and I think he can only become better based off of that performance. He did make a lot of mistakes, but again, I like the fact that he corrected those mistakes in the second half of the fight, and that's why you got the result. So he got the result that he got. So once again, the best promoter in boxing makes a great move.
Another questionable decision. Eddie Hearn's going to tank Beeb Industries, buddy.
90,000 in one arena. 10 million people in Germany. I mean, this guy.
And he's going to get K'd. He's going to get KO'd in his next couple for me because he ain't got no experience.
This guy's the best of all time. Eddie Hearn.
Interesting. Main Events. Incidentally, Main Events just tweeted out a little while ago that the HBO crew started setting up at 4 a.m. today. Sergey Kovalev broke training camp to come to Vegas from Big Bear. Ward is a no-show. And what they're speaking about, it says here, we regret to inform you that there will be no face-off for Ward Kovalev 2. The coward, and this is from Main Events, the coward, Andre Ward, left Vegas to avoid Crusher Kovalev. Wow, so he just voted out of there. He didn't even stick around for it. And that's why, listen, man, that's why the press hates Andre Ward. I mean, it just is what it is, man. You don't promote the fights. You don't, hey, look, it's not like your pay-per-views are like through the roof. It did less than 200. I think it did. I think that pay-per-view tanked.
Yeah, but he got a guaranteed $5 million for the first fight.
Yeah,
he's getting even more for this fight.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, he probably is, but your pay-per-view is part of your revenue too.
Yeah, but again, I just think this is more psychological warfare.
Yeah,
it's more gasoline to throw on the fire, and What did Beeb say earlier in this broadcast?
Eddie's a wank.
Stare downs don't win fights. So,
that's true.
Andre Ward doesn't care. He doesn't need it.
There it is.
And I'm gonna say something else too. You tell me if you guys agree with this or not. I saw a lot of tension between Jim Lampley and Andre Ward last night, and I think Andre Ward and even Virgil Hunter, the trainer, he basically told Jim Lampley to play his position, stay in his lane or whatever. And I think they were very unhappy with the commentary after the fight, with Jim Lampley saying, "Hey, if this was in Russia," or basically said this was an American fighter in his backyard on American soil getting in a hometown decision. So he basically insinuated it was home cooking, and really took a lot away from Ward's victory. And I think there's a sour taste in Ward's mouth. And I don't think that he feels obligated to have to talk to these people at HBO, because, again, he fights on HBO. He's an HBO fighter. And for them to have talked about him the way they talked about him after this fight, right after the broadcast, I think that he's bitter. Now, to your point, Eric, is that good for business? Does that help promote the fight? No. And I think he did take it personal. But I think he's just really upset with this HBO crew. Particularly Jim Lampley.
Isn't it like just you cut off your nose to spite your face?
I agree, Eric. I mean, but I'm just trying to make sense.
No, I agree with you. You know what? And you're 100% right. I guarantee that's what he's thinking.
Yeah.
But it's like,
he had like such a like a look on his face yesterday, like he was looking at Jim Lampley like Jim Lampley was a piece of trash last night, because he just didn't look happy having to even sit there and do that interview with Jim Lampley.
Yeah. And I would have said it was due to the Chavez fight, but that was beforehand.
And I will say, Jim Lampley's commentary at the end of that fight was very, very unprofessional.
Very unprofessional. The Ward fight? Yeah.
Yeah. By saying, "Oh, this was a hometown decision, this was that." You don't say that.
That's not your place. Yeah, that's not your. You're the announcer, man. Yeah, that's not cool.
You're supposed to be unbiased. And him crying when certain fighters lose on the network because he feels like he's friends with that particular fighter. I mean, that's just ridiculous. You're supposed to be unbiased.
Yeah.
When does Al Bernstein or Paulie Malignaggi cry at the end of a fight when a fighter loses that they probably like? You know what I'm saying? That's just unprofessional.
Yeah, I agree. Shannon Briggs versus Freza Kendo in the kind of who cares fight takes place June 3rd in Miami, Florida, or Hollywood, Florida. I think that's close to Miami. But Briggs and Kendo will fight. Who cares? Who cares? For the WBA heavyweight.
That's the same day as Adonis Stevenson fighting Andre Fonfora.
The WBA has said one of these two guys are the baddest man on the planet.
The WBA is a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
right.
Absolutely. And I like Shannon Briggs. Hey, listen, I like Shannon Briggs, but yeah, come on. I'm just saying. Does anybody give him a chance to beat Joshua or Wilder?
No.
I don't know.
Hell no.
No.
Boyd Melson, friend of the show, running for Congress, retired professional boxer, public speaker, Renaissance man from West Point, graduated from West Point, was in the Army. Boyd Melson says he'll run for Congress in 2018 for New York's 11th District, covering Staten Island and South Brooklyn. And good luck to Boyd Melson. Boyd Melson, this is the guy, in case you don't remember, would donate his entire purse. He would donate his entire purse to a charity he called Walk for Life.
Yes.
And this helps get people with spinal injuries. If they are paralyzed or anything like that, it goes for research for that. Just an incredible guy. He gave us 2 hours of his time the one time on an interview. He's just an amazing, amazing guy. If you have time, go back and listen to the interview. But, yeah, just an amazing, amazing guy. He's retired now, and, hey, good for him, man. Running for Congress, we wish him all the best. Jorge Linares is calling out Manny Pacquiao. Linares has started calling out Manny Pacquiao this week. He says, quote, "We can meet at 140 pounds. That wouldn't be hard for Pacquiao to make. He also said, Freddie Roach said Pacquiao knocked me out during sparring, and that isn't true. I don't know why he would say those lies after I helped him get ready for a fight, Linares said. Yeah, he's right. He's right. I don't understand that either. I like that fight. I don't hate that fight, but Pacquiao Linares isn't going to happen anytime soon. Would you guys think?
No, I don't think the public is clamoring for that fight. What does Linares do to justify getting that fight, with all due respect to him?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean, yeah, Linares isn't exactly a household name.
Yeah, 135, drop it up to 147.
But who would you rather see? Would you rather see Linares or Pacquiao and Horn, Jeff Horn? So, yeah. I love the pause there.
And I got to think about that one. It's like asking me who would I rather see him fight, SpongeBob or freaking Mr. Potato Head?
I think Mr. Potato Head myself. He's, he can change up arms. He can change up arms and stuff like that. Put the I like it. I like it.
I'd rather see Manny Pacquiao fight my fidget spinner.
Which is very cool, by the way. That'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Robert on Twitter at Ringside Robert, or you can call Ringside Robbie's Corner at 917-259-1810. Leave him a message. You can catch Joe Habib on Twitter at JHabib1 and find his YouTube channel at www.beatingtheoddswithbeeb.com. I'm at Ringside 73, and we will see you next week.